Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio.
You love that name so much, you don't even go by it.
On 100.5 ESPN.
If you call me Mark, I'm fine. I like my name. I like my name a lot.
The ESPN Wisconsin app.
Wilde and Tausch.
And ESPN Madison on YouTube.
It's Wilde and Touch, isn't it?
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
It is the Friday edition. What a motley crew this is, edition. The shareholders meeting and the transfer of the presidency edition. The one more shorts, jerseys, helmets practice, and then a day off. And as close as we get to quote-unquote real football in training camp will occur after that edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video. And there we are. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. And, of course, everything you need on the all-new, all-redesigned, all-free, all-customizable ESPN Wisconsin app, which you can get both in the Android and Apple app stores. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Shareholders meeting kicks off later this afternoon. Practice kicks off at 10:30. Hunter Vaughn is our cousin sub of the day for Jesse Nelson. He is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. Hunter, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. I am so ready for football. Just got done interviewing some high school football coaches. Training camp's underway. I'm delusional about my Cowboys already. It's great.
They do have one of the top-rated coaches in all of football, Brian Schottenheimer, directing them, and one of the faces of the NFL, apparently, Jerry Jones, saying stuff he probably shouldn't be, and from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue in the 3rd Street Market Hall, you hear him on Mr. Irrelevant. You hear him as the accomplished producer.
Oh, wow.
He even looked out for me a little bit, dropping things for me on KBN.
Yeah, good one. Good one yesterday, yeah.
And, of course, you can also find him on Weekly Wilde if we ever figure out how to schedule that during training camp. It is Alex Strofe, our cousin sub of the day for Tausch. Strofe, good morning. How are you?
I am lovely, Jason. Good to be with you on this Friday, the first week of training camp. I'm just going to try to do my best Tausch impression real quick. Do you think Mark Murphy and Ed Policy will literally have a passing of the torch? I know Mark Murphy, probably not a prop comedian, but do you think they will have some sort of handoff later this afternoon at the shareholders meeting when they do the quote-unquote passing of the torch for president and CEO? Like, I in my head, I vision an actual passing of the torch, though that's unlikely.
So you're thinking almost like the Olympics where they run around
Yes, bingo.
the city and they do that. Yeah, I don't think that's going to occur. No, I would be surprised if that were to occur. But hey, again, Mark Murphy's an innovator. He's full of ideas. Maybe that's something that he would like to try. So have you been to the shareholders meeting previously? You're a Green Bay kid. Your dad, obviously, a longtime Green Bay police officer. I'm sure he worked a few of these events. Have you ever actually attended it yourself?
I attended last year for the first time. I am not a shareholder, so I've never bought the piece of paper.
Sneak in?
No, Kyle Wallace from KBN is a shareholder, so he got extra, or I don't know how many tickets you get. I think you get 4 tickets or something to the shareholders meeting. So him and I attended last year. And I'll tell you what, I just got to be honest. I love Mark Murphy. I love his comedy bits. I love his attempt at entertaining. It's boring as hell. I'm not a numbers guy, Jason. As you know very well working with me, I am not the sharpest tool in the shed when it comes to numbers specifically. So the shareholders meeting, I find it rather boring, mundane, if you will.
This one will be different, though, I would argue, because there is that passing of the torch. Whether that's going to be boring or not, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I will say this. I agree with you. There was a time when this event was different, and that was when Ron Wolf was the general manager. They have the football report every year, and Ron Wolf would actually talk football. Like, he would actually give information. As a reporter, I needed to be there. I am considering today staying in my office, listening to it over the loudspeaker, and continuing to write about football instead of dollars and cents, which obviously came out earlier in the week when we talked with Mark Murphy. But he would give you like the lowdown, like, hey, we're really excited about this guy, or this guy's come back from this injury, but he would give a timeline. There would always be nuggets. Then Ted Thompson took over. And Ted, the first year or two, kind of did that. And then after that, he went to reading the names of the players on the roster, which I thought was an interesting approach. Just their names. Nothing about
that's one way to do it. Yeah. One way to do it.
And then he even whittled it down further, where he would just say the position and they would have the names on the scoreboard. And he wouldn't even say the names.
That's what they did last year. Yeah. Yeah.
And then Goody has continued that tradition. So I don't know what you would get out of that from a football perspective. But again, I think it's important to point out that this one is different. It is undeniably different. There is going to be the new president as of today when he takes over. So that, to me, is significant. We'll talk more about actual football. Now, what we're going to do today, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit apprehensive. But
it's your idea.
I know. But, I think it's important to give people the chance to spread their wings. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for Tom Mulhern, Kent Youngblood, Tom Oates, Andy Baggett, Greg Sprout, all those guys at the State Journal way back in the day when I started in 1996, who gave me opportunities. Now, you have lots of responsibilities. You are the driver of our Green Bay Game Day pregame programming on game days. You obviously, as I mentioned, produce I was going to say wildly popular, but I feel like somewhat popular is a better way to put it, KBN. You have your own
no comment.
Show, you have your own show, Mr. Irrelevant. Which how do people consume Mr. Irrelevant with you, and whether it's you and Hunter or you and Joshy? How do people get that?
Yeah, Joshy, Hunter, and Will Summers. Now full-time Will, always with me. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, beginning at 12:30. You can find it on YouTube, ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison, and, of course, the all-new customizable, I believe you always call it, ESPN Wisconsin app. You can go ahead and put Mr. Irrelevant right next to Wilde and Tausch at the top of your feed on the ESPN Wisconsin app. We do it 3 times a week. So that's how you find it.
So it's not like you need the reps, but, this is, dare I say, a pretty high-profile program. Tausch is a star.
Oh, wow. Humble brag, yeah. Yeah, he is.
No, you heard the second sentence I said there. And so, the big fella draws in a lot of listeners. And so I thought it might be fun because, he loves to point out that, and on the rare occasions he does ask a question. Oh, you always say I don't ask you any questions, then when I do, you don't have an answer. Maybe that's true. The bottom line is, though, that I do a lot of the questioning. He does a lot of the opining and answering. So we in the radio biz call that being the driver and the reactor.
Sure.
Reactor is strong for me. I'm thinking more passenger, shotgun passenger. But I thought I would turn the show over to you and let you run the point today. Do you find that to be a smart decision or a questionable one?
All right, so I don't want to question your coaching ability, Jason, because your daughters are blessed to have a very active father and coach in their lives. You coach all the sports they participate in, and I'm sure you similar to what you just did on this program, you give great messages, right? Growth isn't linear. Would probably be the number one on that list if I was guessing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you sure do. So. I appreciate the opportunity. I will happily take the opportunity given the, I would just say the nature of which we will be operating in, which is at some point today, you are going to leave us for a brief moment. And
correct.
Hunter and I and Will and I and the 3 of us from Mr. Irrelevant are going to navigate that one segment by our lonesome. And then you're going to return and you are going to be updating us at training camp. But also, Jason, as you've done this for years and years on this program and all the others you've hosted throughout your very, very well, established and accomplished career. You're on the sideline. So there's horns going off. There's people trying to pull you for conversations. We are going to do our best today to get every piece of information we can. I also read a release that you can't give us as much information as maybe you could in prior years, but we'll get to that later. We are going to do our best today, Jason, and I am happily going to take the baton from you as we navigate through the waters that are the Friday Wilde and Tausch ship. So I appreciate the opportunity. I will happily take you up on that.
Ship, yes. The
ship, yeah.
Ship. Great. I can't wait. Hunter, predict how this will go.
If it's anything like Mr. Irrelevant, off the rails very quickly. We're going to get off topic very easily.
Well, dude, I really want to talk about the Chuck E. Cheese that was arrested in Tallahassee, Florida at some point. So we'll get to that.
Strikes again.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that is it reminds me, it seems like every week on Thursday, we're getting like an unbelievable viral sensation. Last week was the Coldplay CEO and HR manager of Astronomer, the AI company, who have both now resigned as of yesterday. This week, it is a man in a full-blown Charles Edward Cheddar costume being arrested for credit card fraud. How did they even know they had the right guy? Anyway, so we'll get to that later, I'm sure. But sorry, Jason, another derailment very quickly.
So I've changed my mind back. I'm going to run the show.
Good choice.
I love the fact that you made that decision very easy for me right out of the chute. No, we'll do it together. We'll trade. We'll go back and forth. There'll be a give and a take, the old give and take.
Sure, yeah.
But the fact that you went to the Chuck E. Cheese arrest literally after seconds after taking over.
You're telling me you have no opinions on this? You saw this.
I am up to here with Packers training camp. I just posted on channel3000.com because I, quite frankly, ran out of a little bit of gas last night, not in my vehicle because that's an unforced error, but in my writing that I decided, you know what, I'm going to write this better if I wake up early in the morning and write it, which I did after I finished it up after talking to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, and after talking to Eric and Vinny on 620 WTMJ, filling in for Tausch there. I wrote about Matthew Golden, and he told a story to me and a couple of other folks on Wednesday that I found incredibly compelling. And I want to talk about that coming up. So we'll get to that. So bottom line, I don't know what you're talking about. So we need to get to that at some point so I can be more up to date. Because look, there was no avoiding our pal Andy and his HR gal pal on social media after that happened. Like that was my entire feed was, yeah, we're good buddies. And currently one of us definitely has a different lifestyle than the other, clearly. But be that as it may.
I was going to say, one of you has a divorce lawyer on retention. The other hopefully does not.
Yeah, unless there's something going on with Paula that I'm not aware of, I think I feel pretty good about where I'm at with her. That said, I feel good where I'm at with you guys. Thank you again for stepping in. I know this is kind of a crazy time of the year where folks are in and out. I've taken a few days off. Those days are over as training camp is in full swing. Practice 3 coming up at 10:30, followed by the shareholders meeting this afternoon at 3. We will cover it all for you across ESPN Wisconsin, and I'll have stories at channel3000.com as well. Tausch is on his summer sabbatical, as we like to call it, which means that while we are here, he will be telling us about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin from not the great beyond, but from a recorded message. Here's Tausch. More Wilde and Tausch is straight ahead.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella Experience. The Pella Experience Center lets you see, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of windows and door options from 7 different Pella lines, all side by side. Stop by soon, because if you order by July 31st, you can get 0 interest for up to 5 years. Certain restrictions do apply. Visit the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield or schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here, and even though I'm off the show today, training camp is underway, which means regular season football is just around the corner. And that has me feeling good on a Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints. Stick around to hear some of the best feel-good stories of the week coming up to close out today's show. Well, I am not spending my time off painting my house because our family trusted Holman Lindsay's great team of pro painters. They're super easy to get in touch with, and they do a tremendous job. All you have to do is stop into any Madison area Holman Lindsay location, ask a member of the team, and they'll help you get in touch with the best pro for your job. From hot summer days to brisk winter nights, Holman Lindsay is the one paint that can withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. That's why we can say Holman Lindsay truly is Wisconsin's best paint. Holman Lindsay, great paint, great people. Check them out at HolmanLindsay.com and stick around for Feel Good Friday coming up to close out today's show, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, hey, how'd you pull this off? Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Baseball is back. Brian Balaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Zimbrick Honda and ESPN Madison present the Game Changers of the Month, recognizing those in area sports who make a positive impact in their community. Here's Pablo Iglesias with Zimbrick Honda's Game Changers of the Month.
Pablo Iglesias here. Welcome to the ESPN Madison Game Changers of the Month interview, and I'm joined by a special guest, Alec Ingold. With everything that you're doing here, you basically take over Madison for the whole week. You're doing football camps, but you're also doing things beyond that.
We're creating champions beyond the scoreboard. We got a fundraiser out in Tacoma, bringing the community together. We got a financial literacy camp. We call it Money Mini Camp. That's going to be fun. Over at La Follette, plus a little football camp for the kids. Free youth football camp in the Madison area. So, yeah, we're doing it big. We're doing a lot of fun stuff here, and just love to give back to this community so much. Madison's given so much to me with the university and the community, so this is our way of giving back.
Follow ESPN Madison on YouTube and on Facebook for more with the Game Changers of the Month, presented by Zimbrick Honda.
Hello, I'm John Hayes, the owner of Goodman's Jewelers. It's been my pleasure to serve this community from this incredible store for over 4 decades. We stand upon high standards and classic traditions, pillars like honesty and integrity. Stop into Goodman's Jewelers, the longest-standing full-service jewelry store in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
We're on the Packers.
There's a lot of guys that have shown they've belonged.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
I don't know if they've shown that they have staying power and that they're really, really good.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Time for me to fly. Oh, I got to set myself free. Time for me to fly. That's just how it's got to be. I know it hurts to say goodbye, but it's time for me to fly.
Alex Strofe and Hunter Vaughn in as our cousin subs of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Do I look red to you, Hunter? Is this my iPad or is that the lighting?
Probably a mix of both.
All right, stay right there. And if you're listening, just wait a second.
Oh boy, where's he going? What's happening? Turning on a light, maybe?
Changing the lighting
that's
a
what he's
little
doing. Yeah, sits back down. Still red. He looks like he spent way too much time in the sun.
But I'm not red. I'm seriously not. I hide in the shade when I'm doing the show. No, I think this actually looks worse. Now it looks shadowy.
Yeah, it looks worse. Are you sure you haven't been out baking in the sun recently? You know, Speedo at the beach.
Well, as you know, I am an Adonis. So I'm a big Speedo guy. You see me in that ensemble all the time. More like Hunter, help me out here. Who's the guy? Borat with that V that
Very nice.
Yeah, that's my look. No, it's been nice. And yesterday, I'll say this, it was cloudy. We got a little bit of rain for a brief time at practice, and then the sun came out right as practice was ending. So we stayed cool as a cucumber out there. Speaking of cool, I got to say that Matthew Golden has made a good first impression, both in terms of my most extended interaction with him in conversation, which happened on Wednesday, and in terms of what we've seen the first 2 days. Now, I know that this is not fun when I do this, and I sound like I'm scolding people. I don't mean to sound that way. But it's 2 practices in helmets, jerseys, and shorts. So we have to make sure, good, bad, or like if a guy goes out there and looks terrible, we also need to make sure that we're being a little more careful about how we perceive what he's done. Okay, so I don't want to keep sounding like a third grade teacher, but I do think that's important to keep in mind. Now, that said, he had a touchdown catch from Malik Willis on day one. He had a play yesterday where Jordan Love moved around in the pocket, hit him in stride on a crossing route where it was between two defenders, one of whom was Bo Melton. He's just really smooth. And again, Tausch loves it when I do this and then holds it over me as a result. But he moves like Greg Jennings, except he's faster. That's who he kind of reminds me of. So if he ends up playing at the level that Greg Jennings did, because Greg Jennings, I know the way things ended were not optimal. And he said some things on his way out the door. And then when he was in Minnesota that were not great, he was a stud. I mean, he was a really, really, really good player here. And so if Golden follows that kind of an arc, that's something to be excited about. So, but he's made a really good first impression. But the conversation that I was having with him in the locker room the other day, are you a goal setter? Do you write down your goals? Like, I want to, kick a field goal someday, or that seems to be a ways off, it would appear from the video evidence I've seen. But do you write those down?
Not sure what's going on with Strofe. I have him on here.
He's talking to himself.
Yeah.
He's never sounded better.
Oh.
There we go.
It's fair. Hunter, did you just not turn me on? What happened?
No, I had you on.
Is this what
strange.
Mr. Irrelevant is like?
Yes.
Because Hunter just told me...
working through technical issues? Yes.
Hunter just told me during the break that you guys are going to do like a mini Mr. Irrelevant while I'm going down to practice. And I'm curious, does that mean the two of you, there'll just be silence?
Yes, likely there will be a technical issue that we run into that Hunter attempts to fix. But to answer your question, I said I hate to sound like your former buddy, or maybe not former buddy, maybe you're still your buddy, but the former quarterback Aaron Rodgers. I am a believer in the power of manifestation, Jason. I like to out loud speak my goals and talk about how I'm going to make them happen. But I don't really write them down these days. I don't write much anymore since I've departed the Denmark News. I can't say I'm a big writer these days.
So, okay. Well, Matthew Golden does something that did something growing up and now still does this today. And you can read about this at channel3000.com. But I even asked him yesterday, I'm like, have you told that story before? I'd never heard that before. He said, I think I might have told it once. When he was 6 years old, he watched the NFL draft. And on that day, that became his goal, was to be a first-round draft pick. He watched guys walk across the stage, and he said, I'm going to do that someday. And he took, I assume it was a Crayola marker and not a Sharpie, because if it was a Sharpie, I don't know if you can clean that off of glass. But he wrote that as his goal on his mirror. And if you know anything about Matthew Golden's story, he endured a challenging childhood. He moved around a lot. There were times where he and his mom stayed in hotels from day to day. There was a time where they slept in their car outside of a Walmart. He lived with his grandmother for a period of time with his mom, and then they lost that house, which he made his goal to reacquire it once he got to the NFL. So he's in the process of doing that. But he said, no matter where I lived, I wrote it on the mirror. And now he's realized that goal. And I said, so are you still doing that? Now, I don't know if he's living in a hotel or if he's got his house
already set up.
Great
follow-up by you.
Yeah.
Great follow-up by you.
But well said. Good answer. So he wrote that. He's writing it on his mirror now. So he's brushing his teeth every morning. He's fixing his hair. And his goals he wouldn't tell us what his goals were for this year, but he's still doing it. And so
that's bad on you. You're a journalist. Find out the answer.
Tell me, I'm going to follow him home and then go into
break into his house, dude.
Hey, what did he write here? What if I can't read his handwriting?
Jason, come on.
Exactly. So anyway, I think, and look, this is what comes with being a first round pick, right? Like if there's anybody that people are interested in, and I don't know, Michael in the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube comments, I don't know where this is coming from. Being a conduit for fans is not completely ignoring fans and everything you do for your job. Jason is taking himself way too seriously and forgot why he is allowed to do the job he does.
Now you suck, Jason. We all hate you.
If Michael's unhappy that I haven't been in the YouTube comments, it's because when I'm at practice, I'm at practice. I can't check the YouTube comments to interact with the good people of the YouTube comments. But I assure you, Michael, I have not forgotten that. I'm not willing to break into Matthew Golden's house to get you that information. But
that'd be good journalism.
I do take that responsibility seriously. But my point was going to be, before I got sidetracked, and now I'm going to close that window, is that while I may think, the offensive line or Nate Hobbs or Josh, like there's been all kinds of storylines that I have been interested in, and I feel like readers and listeners are interested in, so I focused on those. The first round pick is really a big deal. And I think last year, because it was an offensive lineman, I don't want to say I lost sight of that, but it wasn't, he kind of got knocked out in the first round, right? Like it was Rasheed Walker at left tackle from the jump, and then he hurt his shoulder. So Jordan Morgan was not that big of a story during camp. People want to know about Matthew Golden. They want to know about every catch he makes. He had a touchdown from Malik Willis on day one. They're going to want to know what he did today. So I chose to write about him and talk about him today. And I got to say, he's just an he's 21 years old, but he's just got kind of a maturity to him that I really, really like. So I think there's been some very encouraging early signs. But again, I would emphasize that there's a lot of ball game left and a lot of training camp left, and he's got a lot of career left. And I don't want to come out here and, say, oh, he's going to be this or he's going to be that. When I say he reminds me of Greg Jennings, it's the way he carries himself. It's the way he moves. He's not the biggest dude. Like he's not 6'2", 6'3", like Jordy Nelson. He's not Devontae Adams, who's 6'1", right? I mean, he's more Greg Jennings size. Like they've got a Greg Jennings in him, and I would argue they've got kind of a Randall Cobb in Jaden Reed, whose nickname is Jaybird, but now they've shortened it to Bird.
Jaybird, just like you.
So I
Aren't
can't
you also
wait.
Jaybird?
Well, I was going to discuss that with Jaden, but I was talking to Dontavion Wicks yesterday. He kept calling him Bird. So apparently they've dropped the J. And I don't know if Jesse filed some sort of like a copyright infringement against them, and so they had to change it for me, but whatever it might be. I want to talk more about the wide
Let's just change the name of the show. Bird and Tausch.
So Jaden Reed's going to start doing the show.
Oh, excuse me. Jay Bird and Tausch.
Yeah, I think there's some people that would like to do that, actually. But what I want to get to next is something that you wanted to get to. So this will be your chance to drive the show coming up next. And that is,
great. How
do you keep all these guys involved with the pass catchers? And we're going to hear from Matt LaFleur and his answer on that after I tell you about Steinhafels. And this is something you're going to want to get involved with. It's the last weekend of the Steinhafels Double Up and Save Big sale. You'll get 10% off store-wide, and here's the kicker. You'll double your savings with an extra 10% off when you buy 2 or more furniture pieces. Like we got a chair and we got a sectional couch a couple months ago. We're excited about that. You'll be excited about whatever you take home and the extra bargains that will come with it. Plus, you'll get up to $300 in Steinhafels cash when you purchase select mattresses. Steinhafels, Wisconsin's furniture and mattress leader. Shop in store now or online at steinhafels.com. Jay Bird and Mr. Irrelevant roll on Wilde and Tausch.
First of all, I love bringing this to the public.
The Rich Eisen Show.
NFC North, top to bottom. You could say this is the best this division has ever been.
Coming September 2nd on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut. You know I've loved Pizza Hut since the days back when I was in school participating in the legendary Book It program. The summer was always a great time to get in some extra time reading to earn some great Pizza Hut pizza. And now my summer survival kit in Madison is a little different. A cooler full of drinks, a comfy lawn chair, and a large Hut Lovers pizza from Pizza Hut for just $12.99. Choose from 4 loaded legends: meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, veggie lovers, and the new spicy Hawaiian. It's your summer go-to. Hot, melty, and made to crush hunger. Order before it's gone on the Pizza Hut app. Limited time only. Additional charge for extra toppings, pan, stuffed crust, and extra cheese. A large Hut Lovers pizza for just $12.99 for a limited time at Pizza Hut. Nobody out-pizzas the Hut.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the Miami Marlins.
Line drive, base hit! Ball game over! Caleb Durbin does it again!
Today on 100.5 ESPN.
The ESPN Madison Open presented by Coors Light is back. On Monday, August 4th, the ESPN Madison crew is packing their bags and teeing off at TPC, Wisconsin for a day on the links. This year's Open is benefiting Mentoring Positives, a nonprofit based right here in Madison dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. The ESPN Madison Open is also brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, Starion Bank, Celebrations Entertainment, The Bogey Factory, Bruner Realty, and Hush Blackwell.
It's always a beautiful experience coming out to the ballpark. Many fans prep in the parking lot amongst our legendary tailgaters. When you're ready for new windows and doors, prep for those at the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. See, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from different Pella lines side by side. And if you order by July 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years on Blue Mountain Road, or visit PellaWI.com today.
The search for luxury begins at Audi Madison. Save $5,500 when you purchase or lease a new 2025 Audi Q7 55. National customer credit is good toward the purchase, finance, or lease of a new Audi, but is only available until July 30th. Why drive something ordinary when you can drive something extraordinary? Stop in and test drive today. Check out AudiMadison.com to see current inventory and specials. Start your adventure at Audi Madison today, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road.
Get ready for Germanfest, carnival style. Sink your teeth into Spanferkel, cheer on the tiny racers at the Dachshund Derby, and dance the night away with Vox Club, Juhe aus Tirol, and top bands from around the country. Don't miss the colorful parade, and on Saturday night, wear your best costume for the masquerade ball at the Miller Stage. Eat, drink, schunkel, and make it your tradition at Germanfest. For more information and online tickets, visit Germanfest.com.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott Garrett and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison. We're on the Packers.
The last 4 or 5 games are going to be very difficult.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
But I still think they can get 11 wins out of this schedule.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Oh, yeah, Wilde and Tausch continues. I'm Alex Strope for Mark Tauscher alongside the 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde, live from his office in Lambeau Field on this Friday, day 3 of training camp, about a little less than an hour away from getting underway at Ray Nitschke Field. So Jason set it up last segment, and it's something that I've pondered quite a bit this offseason. I know we talked about it at length during our annual State of the Packers show a couple weeks ago at Summerfest. And that is the pass catchers. Like, There are so many guys to the point in Green Bay where we have converted a wide receiver to a different position in order for him to maybe make the roster. That is how crowded the wide receiver room is, and we know how good the tight end room could be with Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft both healthy, at least at this point in the offseason and to begin the season. So before we get to the conversation around the pass catchers, Jason, I want to hear from the head coach, Matt LaFleur, because I thought this was really interesting, and I'm not exactly sure who asked the question. Maybe you can help me with that, about how to keep everybody happy. But I thought Matt LaFleur's answer was at the same time a good answer, but also kind of a cop-out. Here's the head coach in an exchange with a reporter yesterday about how to keep all the pass catchers happy in the 2025 NFL season.
How do you keep everybody happy?
That's a great question. Winning. Hopefully winning will keep them all happy. And, I mean, the beauty of our offense is, like, you really don't know necessarily who's going to get the ball. And I think it really frees up the quarterback. He doesn't have to feel that pressure, I got to get this guy the ball. And it's really on us as a staff to try to move these guys around and showcase what they can do.
So that's the head coach, Matt LaFleur, yesterday.
That was Bill Huber that asked the question.
Huber, got it. Sports Illustrated's Bill Huber, longtime Packer beat reporter, asked the question. And I guess I'm intrigued by the answer because, yes, I do believe winning cures everything. But you were also dealing with a room that has a lot of expectations and a quarterback that has high expectations, being that he's a $55 million man. You had a guy in that room, Jason, last year not show up to work because he wasn't happy with his reps and the amount that he was spending on the field in Romeo Doubs, and they were still winning last year. All things considered, pretty good year last year. So I guess I texted you yesterday, and I'm curious on where you're at, and I don't know that 2 days of training camp necessarily changes your opinion on this, but I feel like you could tell me the output of the receiver room for the 2025 season in a million different ways, and I'd probably believe you every single time because I think it's a little unpredictable, and I don't know whether or not that's a good thing. Like Matt LaFleur made it sound like it's a good thing. Where are you at with this room? And when you hear that answer from Matt LaFleur, how are you feeling? Because I just, as a fan, I'm going, I don't know, man. I guess I need to see it, I guess, to believe it.
I would say that 1 million is a bit of hyperbole.
Yes,
there's maybe not that many, but there could be 100 different variations, right? Depending upon what combinations of wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs you put out there, where you line them up, who you send in motion, who you have as the number one read on a certain pass play, all those things. And one of the storylines and one of the missions of training camp is to figure out, exactly who fits best where and who can be utilized best in which situations. And, I know we talked about this yesterday on KBN. LaFleur giving me a hard time about asking a question after the bell. And the fact that I wasn't there because I have a radio program at the same time yesterday, he made a joke about it. But I will be there on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that today.
But the question that prompted that exchange at the end of Wednesday's session was something that Tausch brought up, which I thought was brilliant. And that is, what this team is trying to figure out is who, on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, when it's 3rd and 7, and the offense needs to convert to keep a drive going to go win the game, or when it's 3rd and 7, then the defense has to get a stop to force a punt or force a difficult 4th down situation to go win the game. Who do you trust? Who do you want on the field in those situations? And quite frankly, I don't know the answer to that question right now. And I'm not sure the Packers do either. Right?
I think the only thing that we all know is Tucker Kraft. I think that is the only answer that we are all comfortable in saying. Right? When it comes to the receiver room specifically, like, Romeo Doubs has probably been the best example of Jordan Love's security blanket, if you will, during his first 2 years as a starter.
Mm-hmm. Really good third down guy.
Matthew Golden, obviously, ton of expectations, ton of upside. He's got the skill set. Will it translate? That's the big question we're waiting to see with Matthew Golden. Christian Watson, right? Well, he's been healthy. If he's been healthy, he's been okay, but some games he's been great. Some days he's been bad. Like, he's a hard one to figure out here in a, if I'm not mistaken, a contract year, right, for Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
When it comes to those other two that are a year younger than them, Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks, I think both of those guys have unbelievable skill sets. Like, I think Dontavian Wicks, and I don't want to get carried away with this comparison, but I think he is the closest thing to young Devontae Adams the Packers have. Great route running ability. Obviously, the drop issues are probably why he gets compared to him the most. But I think Dontavian Wicks has an unbelievable skill set, and he had quite a year last year despite all of the drops. And then Jaden Reed is, I've kind of compared him to Deebo Samuel Light almost the last couple of years. You can just do so many creative things with him with a creative offensive mind like Matt LaFleur is, where you can put him in motion, you can put him in the backfield, yada, yada, yada. All these guys have something. But to your point, and to Tausch's point, who do you trust? I don't know the answer to that question as we stand here on July 25th. Hopefully I feel better about this on, say, October 25th as we get a couple weeks into the season. But as it stands right now, I don't know the answer, Jason. Like, I don't know who to expect, taking the biggest chunk of the snap count. Like, if I had to guess right now in the 2025 season, who will play the most offensive snaps at the wide receiver position, I don't know that I have a good answer.
Yeah, I don't either, and I'd like to think that I have a pretty good handle on most things that go on around here. Goody had a line on Wednesday. There's the stuff you guys know about, and then there's the stuff that you don't. That's fair, right? Yeah. That is definitely fair. There are things that happen in this building that I don't know about, and I understand why they don't want me to know about them. Right? There are things. Domofsky is the best reporter we have on the beat. He doesn't know everything that's going on either. He's plugged in pretty well. He's got good sources. But I just, there's a lot going on. But that said, I feel like all of us that have covered the team for a while now have a pretty good idea about most things. We have a pretty good idea who's good and who's not. We have a pretty good idea of what Matt LaFleur wants to do, what Jeff Hafley wants to do, what they're good at, what they're not as good at, all those things. When it comes to what the pass catching options will be in the crucial moments, I honestly don't know. But guess what? I don't think the head coach knows either. I think he's got a better idea than we have, but I don't think he knows either.
I don't know that he does either, Jason. And listening to that answer, it sounds like he doesn't, right? Like, oh, we've got so many guys, we can get creative, blah, 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 blah. I'm excited, and I have more hope maybe than I did, say, January when the season ended, right? When they lost to Philadelphia in the postseason, I think we all kind of had the big takeaway. If we looked at the season as a whole, if we took the entirety of the season, we walked away with one big takeaway. It was none of the receivers took the step like we were anticipating, right? We went into the 2024 season. At this time last year when you and I were talking, I think both of us were under the impression somebody's going to step up. Somebody's going to emerge as the number one. The Packers are, operating under the belief that, they have good football players in that room, and somebody will become the bona fide stud number one receiver. That did not happen in the 2024 season. So what do they go out and do? They go ahead and try to address that in the draft in both the first and the third round with the drafting of Matthew Golden and Savion Williams, respectively. So we are now at a point where that room is entirely crowded, and I said it at the beginning of the segment, to the point where they are switching somebody's position, right? Bo Melton is now a cornerback. And so that means they must feel at least pretty darn good about where that room is at. But to your point, I don't know that the head coach / play caller offensively knows exactly who his go-to guy will be come week one against the Lions on September 7th. And I don't know that that's a problem, but it's still, to me as a fan, for a team that where we have convinced ourselves and they are talking about in the locker room that this is a team with Super Bowl expectations, that's where I go, okay, maybe it's a little problematic. They don't have a quote unquote go-to guy.
I think it's. I love it when coaches say it's a good problem to have, because what's weird about that is that right there, you're acknowledging it is a problem, right? You're
It's a
calling
problem,
it a
yeah.
good problem to have. That doesn't change the fact that it's a problem. So on the one hand, and look, I know that, lots of fans and reporters, I still think back to when LaFleur gave me whenever I hear number one receiver, I want to vomit line, when the question wasn't really about number one wide receivers. But be that as it may, that just showed his angst about that question, right? That he interrupted and said that. I don't think he necessarily wants someone to be given that title that isn't at the level of Devontae Adams, who he had during his best, right? His best part of his career was while Matt LaFleur was coaching him and while Aaron Rodgers was throwing to him. But if a guy plays at a level that he commands that type of respect and role, great. He's going to be on board with it. But I do think Matt is authentic when he says that he's okay with having all these options. He's also said that, look, it doesn't have to be a wide receiver. It can be Tucker Kraft. And quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out to be Tucker Kraft, despite all these wide receivers.
So we're going to get to Wilde and Tausch trivia coming up next, presented by our friends at Vortex Golf. But if I made you pick, I'm going to try to do a Tausch thing here, and you might not answer because you're good at that. You're good at elusively evading a direct question like I'm about to ask you. If I made you pick right now, who do you think leads the team in receiving yards?
I'm not doing that. Because look, because here's the thing, like, and again, I love Tausch. He's the best. He gives me a hard time that I don't make predictions and I don't have bold takes.
You don't.
Because I don't. That's
bold
great,
takes sometimes. Predictions
very
are not
rarely.
great.
I would say very rarely. But to me, my job, the way I view my job, is to educate, elucidate, inform, give insight. But I hate these. And I don't want to speak about anybody specifically, but like if you stuck your flag in the ground on Jordan Love on one side or the other, you are predisposed to that position. Either he's going to be an MVP, all-pro, great quarterback, or he's going to suck. And you see it in how people interact with us when we talk about him. You can tell the ones who think he's a bum, and you can tell the ones that think he's going to be as good as Rodgers and Favre. And I think it's okay to say, I don't know. And, I had a great conversation with Jordan yesterday. I had talked to Dontavion Wicks one-on-one, and he was talking about his mental approach last year and how bad it was and how much that affected his performance. And first of all, that's the kind of stuff, when a guy's willing to open up a little bit about that kind of stuff, that's when I love my job the most. And so I want to tell that story properly, so I didn't want to rush it last night. But I went and talked to Jordan after that, and and Jordan and I talked about volleyball and Ronica and the wedding. Like, I really like Jordan. And when I say that, Tausch gives me a hard time, but I want to be clear that just because I'm not willing to stand on a pedestal and claim or shout from the mountaintop he's going to be an MVP, it's not because I don't like him or I don't think we don't see flashes of really, 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 really good football, because we all know that, right? But I don't know what he's going to be. And so I want to be able to be fair to him as he goes through the growing pains that take him to whatever he will ultimately be. And I feel like if I'm constantly saying, I think he's a bum or I think he's awesome, then that colors the way. And I'm sure I fail at this still. I get it. But I think that that's really important. So when it comes to the wide receivers, I'm not going to lie to you. Wicks is probably my favorite one. I like Reed. I like Watson a ton. I like I love who Watson is. Like, I would love to be a wide receiver on this team and in the room with him. He runs slightly faster than me, even while he's coming back from ACL tear, but and faster than you. Although you could probably beat him in the
Doesn't
three-cone
take
now.
much.
Well, he's not, because I don't think he's
Not a
supposed to
high
be
bar,
cutting
yeah.
like that. So I like your chances. But I don't know how productive he's going to be this year. I don't even know when the heck he's going to play. So your question is a really good one, but I'm punting on it to stay on brand.
Yeah, it's very on brand for you. I mean, just so you're aware, nobody's going to like come haunt your dreams if you get this one wrong. I was just curious, given what you've seen out of the first 2 days, if somebody's sticking out above the rest. Because, like Matthew Golden, for example, we talked about a bit earlier. I think he will get a lot of snaps towards the back half of the year. I don't know if that will be the case at the beginning of the season. He's running with the twos right now for the most part in training camp, which is as expected. That's what they've done with all of their first-round picks the last, 6, 7, 8 years for the most part. So I don't know. Like Golden, obviously the ceiling is high. Dontavian Wicks, like you mentioned, and like I mentioned, I just think he has a terrific skill set. I think if he is able to put it all together, that guy can be a really, really good NFL wide receiver. Christian Watson likely going to miss some time, so it's probably not him. Romeo Doubs, as I mentioned, he's been the best example, and to your point on third downs, of Jordan Love's like go-to guy. Romeo Doubs has been. But Tucker Kraft, he had quite a coming out party last year. Can he become a real top 5 NFL tight end and maybe lead this team in receiving? That wouldn't shock me. You could give me all of those answers and say, hey, that's the leading receiver for 2025, and I would believe you. Because I think that room is that wide open, and that's why I think outside of maybe the left tackle battle, it's the most intriguing position group at training camp. Because is somebody going to stick out right away? Is it going to take until we get some preseason action, or is it going to be until we get to week 7 and finally we go, oh yeah, Jaden Reed is that guy, or Dontavian Wicks is that guy, or Tucker Kraft is the go-to guy for the passing game? That's what I'm really intrigued about with this team. That's probably my number one curiosity about the 2025 Packers is who is going to be that guy. He's Jason Wilde. I'm Alex Strofen for Mark Tauscher today here on Wilde and Tausch. We need caller 4, caller 11 for Wilde and Tausch trivia, presented by Vortex Golf. That's caller 4 and caller 11 at 844-770-3776. 844-770-ESPN is your way into Wilde and Tausch trivia. Caller 4, caller 11. Hunter, what is our category today?
We are
double
doing
trivia.
Current and former Milwaukee Brewers, as we have the alumni home run derby. So half the questions written by me, the other half by the hall monitor, Jesse Nelson.
Oh, okay, fun. So caller 4, caller 11. We're going to do double Wilde and Tausch trivia, and in true Wilde and Tausch fashion, we will get to that after 10 o'clock. It'll be about 10:02 by the time we get to that in the fourth segment of the 9 o'clock hour. Caller 4, caller 11 right now. You're playing Wilde and Tausch trivia. Current and former Brewers, your topic today. 844-770-3776. We let Jason resume driving the ship, if you will, of Wilde and Tausch trivia, which resumes right after this on ESPN Wisconsin.
We're on the Badgers.
The schedule, as we all know, it's very challenging, daunting, however you want to describe it.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
He wants guys who want to jump at the opportunity to play against a schedule like that.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here, inviting you to Throwback Thursday at the Pizza Hut in Platteville on Thursday, August 7th. From 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Enjoy special throwback prices on pizza, wings, fountain drinks, and more. I'll be at Pizza Hut in Platteville from noon to 2 after Wisconsin's practice, and I've invited some special guests to hang out as well. And when you stop by, enter to win a signed jersey or pizza for a year. Throwback Thursday at Pizza Hut, Thursday, August 7th, exclusively at Pizza Hut in Platteville.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. Wisconsin volleyball receiving praise before the 2025 campaign gets rolling. The Big Ten Media preseason rankings listing Bucky at 3 on the list, Penn State and Nebraska above the Badgers. On the players' end, Carter Booth, Mimi Collier, and Charlie Furbringer named to the All-Big Ten preseason squad. Collier and Furbringer also getting national recognition, the pair also appearing on the AVCA Player of the Year watch list, 2 of 30 to keep an eye on. August 17th versus Notre Dame at the UW Fieldhouse, the first match of the season. 100.5 ESPN is your home for Badgers volleyball.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella experience. Get 0% interest for up to 5 years if you order by July 31st at PellaWI.com.
When it comes to your health, do you want to buy something online or do you want to meet with someone local? A local doctor with a family-owned business that cares about you. That's right, you want to meet with Nestor Rodriguez and Ashley Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. You have questions about cryotherapy, red light therapy, hormone replacement treatments, GLP-1s, or you just want to have a great workout. Carbon World Health is there for you. They have a new location in Sun Prairie and they have their original location in Madison. So when it comes to your health, there's nowhere better to go than Carbon World Health in Madison and now in Sun Prairie.
Summer is here, and your taste buds deserve the best. Carbless is perfect for the pool, the lake, or hanging out by the fire. Full of flavor with 0 sugars, only 100 calories, and made with premium spirits. Don't just settle for something overly carbonated and those flavorless seltzers. Carbless has full flavor with every sip, not just a hint. So when you're ready to take a drink and ready to chill, Carbless is clean, crisp, and won't leave you feeling bloated. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com.
ESPN Madison is proud to partner with Mentoring Positives for our 3rd annual ESPN Madison Open. Mentoring Positives is a nonprofit based right here in Madison and is dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. As a trusted presence in the community, Mentoring Positives has been helping young people build confidence, leadership, and purpose for 20 years. They're changing lives right here in our community. Visit mentoringpositives.org to make your impact today. That's mentoringpositives.org.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Your first time driving a stick shift. The car, sporty. Your teacher, nervous. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Online Activation Zone, so you can easily shift your direct deposits from your old clunker of a bank to Associated Bank in just a few clicks. You've got this with Activation Zone from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
All right, before we get to trivia, which we had the streak going, not to the 11 games that the Milwaukee Brewers had won until some morons jinxed it.
They owe me a cheeseburger, by the way.
I've heard you've mentioned that.
Hey, Will, you hear that? You owe some
times,
people cheeseburgers. You hear that, Will?
Yeah.
It's all you, Will.
We owe cheeseburgers?
Yeah.
All right.
That's what they're saying.
It's not all. It's not
I'll go
all
in for
Will's
Jason.
fault. I appreciate you, Will.
No, it's all Will's fault.
Catchers stick together. All right, so couple things. Matt
Yeah, we
LaFleur's at the podium downstairs. And first of all, their big ticket free agent offensive lineman, Aaron Banks, has a back issue. He dropped out of practice yesterday, and he is very day-to-day, according to Bill Huber's tweets about him. That means Travis Glover will likely get first-team reps in his spot at left guard because the former left guard is now the center, but he's not practicing either because he's got a back issue.
He also has a back issue, but I would imagine a very different back issue than what Aaron Banks is actually dealing with.
Yeah, fair. Well, again, I don't want to cast any aspersions. I don't know. I've not talked to Elton. Right. But
he might actually have a back issue, but I would assume that's why he's not practicing. But anyway, go on.
Travis, who I know Bill wrote about yesterday. I was planning on writing about him today if we saw that Aaron Banks wasn't out there, which will be the case. Remember, the last time we saw Travis Glover, he was being eaten alive by the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoff game. So opportunity for him. You know, he talked yesterday about the idea of having to regain and re-earn the team's trust after that performance. So good opportunity for him. So that's one. Two, Savion Williams will not practice today, and Matt LaFleur wouldn't say why when reporters down in the media auditorium asked. So anytime something like that crops up, you obviously start to wonder, right? Because why would you not say why he won't be practicing? So that's it, and it could let's hit the pause button and say it could be nothing. But usually it's not nothing when that's the answer.
It feels correct. It feels irresponsible to go ahead and ponder why that could be, right? It could be a slew of reasons. I think I would just say this. I think naturally as Packers fans or a beat writer in your case, Jason, I think naturally our head goes to what happened last year with Romeo Doubs, right? Oh, well, he was upset. I don't think that's the case here, just guessing. And again, I think it's irresponsible to speculate because it could be anything from he has an injury that he doesn't want to talk about, or it could be, God forbid, a death in the family, right? It could be anything like that. So we don't have the answer. It is what it is. So I guess we'll wait and see. We'll eventually have an answer, I would guess, when he returns. But very interesting that he declined to comment as to why Savion Williams is not practicing.
I would agree. So those are the two things of import that seem to come out of Matt LaFleur's presser this morning downstairs in the media auditorium. All right, let's get to trivia presented by Vortex Golf.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
So we only had played trivia 3 times this week, and we have 3 first-time contestants. We have a 4th in Danny in Madison, a first-time contestant. Danny, good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are we doing, boys?
Welcome to trivia, and then playing the role of Will Summers and Alex Strofe, costing everyone their George Webb hamburgers, putting an end to the streak. He's the big dumper, apparently. He is Ace in Mount Horeb, who's played before. Ace, good morning. How are you, bud?
Good luck.
What's up, big dumper?
Jason Ader. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks a lot. We're happy to have you, too, even though you've played before. All right, Strofe, I'm going to give you the choice. Instead of alternating, we're each going to take a contestant. Do you want Danny or do you want Ace?
I feel like the first-time contestant should be reserved for the permanent host of the show. So you will take Danny. I will take Big Dumper and Mount Horeb, if that works for you.
All right. Well, then you go first with your first question for Ace.
All right, Big Dumper, here we go. Question 1, Wilde and Tausch Trivia on a Friday. Ace, which current Brewer is also an outfielder for the Italian national team? Is that Isaac Collins? Is it Christian Yelich? Or is it Salvatore Sal Frelick?
That'd be Isaac Collins.
I felt like I gave you the layup there, Ace.
Sal Frelick?
Wow.
Yeah, it's Sal.
Sal Frelick is indeed an outfielder for the Italian team. I'll be honest with you, Ace. I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that.
And I'm not sure if the problem here, in my opinion, I don't know if Jesse had anything to do with this one or if this was Hunter, but usually everyone, and Ace, having played before, knows this. Third question, usually a joke. Third answer, I mean, in the first question, usually a joke. So
That's a good point.
I apologize to you, but you still got it wrong, and it sucks to be you. All right, Danny, question number 1 for you
it sucks
is this.
To be you.
So it's a song from Avenue Q. Question 2, Danny, or question 1 for you, question 2 overall, Danny, is this. Which base runner scored on Niger Morgan's walk-off hit when the Brewers defeated the Diamondbacks in Game 5 of the 2011 NLDS? This is a first question?
That's hard.
Oh, boy. Hunter, are these yours?
Half of them are. I did the question Strofe will be asking. So blame Jesse.
So this
for
is
yours.
Jesse.
Yeah, this is Jesse.
Jesse bringing the heat. All right, Danny.
This is
was
brutal.
that base runner? Was that base runner Carlos Gomez, Johnny Estrada, or Eugenio Suarez?
I'm going to go Carlos Gomez.
And you're going to get it right. Well done.
Good choice. Yeah. Go ahead. Nicely done, Danny. First time contestant 1 for 1. Big dumper Ace in Mount Horeb. You are 0 for 1. Let's get you on the board here with question number 2 for you. Question 3 overall. Ace, in 1998, the year I was born, Pat Murphy became the youngest collegiate coach to reach 500 wins while coaching at which current Big 12 school? Was it Claremont Mud Scripps, Arizona State, or Kansas?
Oh, these are tough questions. I'm going to go Arizona State.
Attaboy, you're on the board.
All right, good. Sounds good.
Danny, question number 2 for you is this. In his 11-year MLB career, Bill Hall played every position in the field at least once except for 2. Catcher was one of those positions. Which other position did Bill Hall never play? Was it pitcher, first base, or center field?
That's a good question. I know he's a utility dude. I'm going to go pitcher. First base?
It's wrong, but yeah, you got it. It's wrong, but I gotta go admit, these guys got some swagger to them both, Ace and Danny. I like this. All right, let's get to question 3 for you, Ace. Which member of the Brewers coaching staff was voted sexiest baseball player by Cosmopolitan magazine? Sexiest baseball player. All right, we're looking at the looks here, Ace. Was it Pat Murphy, Chris Hook, or Ricky Weeks?
Well, Cosmo, that was one of the Seinfeld episodes. Really, Cosmo? Let's go with Ricky Weeks.
Nailed it. Yeah, he's a good-looking guy to this day. Yeah, good-looking guy to this day. Yeah. Sexiest.
I didn't know
Jason, if we ran a contest of sexiest ESPN Wisconsin host, would you crack the list?
Danny, question 3 for you is this. Ryan Braun, speaking of good-looking guys, was voted the 2011 National League MVP. Which player that same season was voted the American League MVP? Was it Justin Verlander, Curtis Granderson, or Evan Longoria?
Justin Verlander.
Nicely done. I would not have gotten that one right either. All right, so where does that leave us, Strofe? Everybody got 2 out of 3?
That's correct.
2 out of 3 means you get 3 of the possible 4 entries into our drawing later in the show if Hunter has been entrusted with that job. Ace, thanks for playing. We appreciate you, buddy. Sorry about that first question. A little bit sketchy.
It was very sketchy, Jason Ader, but hey, it is what it is. All good, bud.
And Danny, I hope you enjoyed your first foray into Wilde and Tausch trivia. I hope you'll play again. Good luck in the drawing. Thanks, bud.
Thanks, boys. Love you guys.
All right, love you guys.
All right, that is the end of the 9 o'clock hour at 10:14. Practice starts at 10:30.
Not bad for us.
I'm going to stick around till probably 10:30 and then walk down, and then you guys can do your cute little Mr. Irrelevant takeover. The 10 o'clock hour.
Cute little.
Yeah, that's what I was going for there.
Yeah, not demeaning at all. Yep.
Wow. Yeah, no, it was. No, you read that correctly. It was meant to be demeaning. Just taking the liberty, taking the liberty of injecting your show into the middle of our show.
The producer of your show told me to do it.
Yeah, for the record, not my idea.
He didn't talk to me about it. I'll tell you that right now. And why is he texting me?
How about you
He's
watch
not
the
even
practice?
working.
What'd he say? Air it out. Air it out. What'd he
Texting me
say?
Topics. He's Jesse. Just go swimming in the lake or whatever it is you're doing
Jason,
today. All
you
right.
try to join your own show while you're on vacation.
That's a good point.
That's different.
You're
I'm
the
me.
worst at that. You are the worst at that.
You sound like Paula. We need to get to the 10 o'clock hour. That'll start in 2 minutes. So shut up. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Monte Ball.
Monte steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown.
You listen to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What is up, Madison? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Your Sports Center update is brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. It's day 3 of Green Bay Packers training camp, and Wilde and Tausch is going to have you covered as Jason will be heading down to the sidelines of training camp, and he'll be keeping us updated while he hosts the show down at training camp day number 3. In Major League Baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers were off yesterday, but they're back in action today as they host the Miami Marlins for a 3-game series at AmFam Field. Fastball Freddie Peralta will be on the mound for the Brew Crew. He comes into today with a 12-4 record and a 2.85 ERA. Coverage of the Brewers game will start at 2:34. First pitch is at 3:10, and you can hear that game right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's new home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball. And baseball fans will want to keep our eyes out on the MLB trade deadline that closes on July 31st at 5 p.m. Hour 2 of Wilde and Tausch starts now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now with Alex Strofe and Hunter Vaughn in as our cousin subs of the day. Matt played this at the Door Community Center, Community Auditorium.
How was that on
in
Tuesday
Fish
night?
Creek. It's great. It was great, and it's always great to see Matt. He's become a good friend of ours, and the girls just absolutely love him, and such a ridiculously talented musician. We're lucky to have him in our life, and it was really fun. And I was really tired the next day because we got back home about 12:30, and then Sid played in a basketball tournament, played really well. So I think we're gonna sleep deprive her before more basketball tournaments. Seem to work pretty well.
Dude, you guys
I want to get this.
You guys are nonstop.
Yeah, I want to get to this. And not talk about our life because I do that and people get annoyed with it. So we won't do that. Instead, Jesse, always helpful. Always. Well, maybe not always, but sometimes helpful. And you know how much I love to read on the radio. Awful announcing, which I really enjoy. I think they do a really good job over there. There's some really interesting stuff. I'm always interested in kind of the media realm, obviously, being in it. I'm not sure this one I agree with, though. So, as you recall on Wednesday, and I don't know if we have the audio of this handy or not, but we were in the middle of our press conference with LaFleur, and any of us that have an iPhone myself included, had to go off with an emergency alert. Now, that it doesn't happen very often, right? Paula and the girls and I were in Madison last week, and one went off for a tornado warning while we were shopping in a local Goodwill. And everybody's got an iPhone, because even if you have your phone on silent and vibrate, it still makes the sound. And so LaFleur was in the middle of an answer when these, like 12, 15 phones went off. And, he kind of gave this, this is why you guys and your phones, this is why we don't allow phones in meetings, etc.
He sounded like an 85-year-old history teacher.
Yeah. Here's his reaction.
He had a great offseason. I think this is... all you guys and your phones. That's why I don't have a phone in here. This is why we have our rule, no phone. So, I don't even know what the question is anymore.
So, all right, couple things. First of all, the Packers put this on their socials.
They did, yes.
I'm not sure why. If I was the coach of the Packers, I would say I didn't feel like I looked very good there, right? It threw me off. I felt awkward, right? And now I notice that Awful Announcing takes him to task for this. To be fair to LaFleur, the sound was incredibly distracting and would almost certainly throw off just about any coach in the league if they were put in the same situation. But with that being said, given the wide range of potentially serious issues the alert could have been related to, many fans thought that LaFleur may have been a bit insensitive in his snarky comment to reporters about their phones going off. Look, we live in a difficult at times world right now, and I get it. There's a lot of crap going on. I'm not going to kill Matt LaFleur for not knowing how to react when something that you're not expecting happens when you're up at the podium answering a question about Sean freaking Ryan. And yes, you also, if I don't know if anybody else, let those who be blameless cast the first stone. Like, if you can handle anything, like, Lord knows I have to handle a lot on this show. You never know what Tausch is going to bring up, right? But that's a tough thing to kind of navigate with all the cameras on you at the front of the room. So let's give him a little bit of grace that he was thrown off by it. Like, I don't think Matt LaFleur's an insensitive jackwagon who doesn't care if a tornado is about to suck up the stadium because he's been distracted and he's mad. I don't find that to be fair. I just don't. Tell me why I'm wrong.
You're not. I think he handled it as anybody would. I actually enjoyed that he turned into, as I mentioned, like an 85-year-old history teacher. You guys and your phones. I'm reading the Awful Announcing article that you are referencing, and essentially it's all these tweets saying this is a bad look, love you, coach, but if that's a tornado warning or a line of thunderstorm with destructive winds, it's necessary. Somebody then tweeted it's an Amber Alert, that it's immediate. It's blah blah blah. It wasn't an Amber Alert. I was there. I was in Green Bay. I wasn't in the press conference with you, but I was out at the AmFam Dream Drive, and I felt bad for the rookies that were coming through at that point. There were some UDFAs coming through on the bikes, and they just looked distraught because, number one, it's their first time doing this bike thing, and number two, they're hearing all these, hundreds at that juncture, right? Because we're at the Dream Drive, there's people everywhere, and all of our phones went off at the same time. And all the alert was there was a situation at a park in Ledgeview, which is about 7 miles from Lambeau Field, and it had ended. It said you no longer need to shelter in place. Jason, I was in Green Bay all morning. I never got the alert that we needed to shelter in place.
Me either.
It's nice we have the EAS, the emergency alert system that notifies us that there's a situation happening. But whoever was running it in Brown County that day missed the initial alert. We got the situation. That alert said the situation is no longer happening. You no longer need to remain in shelter. I never got the initial alert that said we needed to remain in shelter, which I thought was odd, but that's neither here nor there. This is a ridiculous thing to get on Matt LaFleur for, right? I'm sure he has his flaws. I don't think this was a bad moment necessarily for him. I thought he handled it about as well as you could have, honestly.
Yeah, again, I like what they do over there. It's really interesting reads. This I just and I'm not here to defend LaFleur, but I guess I am doing it right now because I just don't. This again. There's also a reason why I miss the days where we could ask these questions without it being televised live and streamed everywhere. Like, as I like to say, and as I think you saw me point out after his back and forth with me at the end on Wednesday, all that matters is the answer. Because that's what we're there for. It's not, I know people think my questions are long because it's some sort of performative thing that I want attention for. I could give a rat's you-know-what about, I don't want attention. I don't want these press conferences on TV or on the web. I don't. And so when he gives me grief, people aren't trying to say that he's a jerk or that other words that to use that, like, I don't want that. Like, I want to be able to have the rapport that I had with Holmgren or with Sherman. Like, nobody saw that stuff. So I'm not there to make it about me. It's about the answer. And so sometimes weird stuff happens. Now, I would argue that Mike Sherman deserved the criticism he received for overreacting in whatever that was, 2005, when somebody's phone rang during his press conference. Hey, a few years ago, inexplicably, my phone started playing a Taylor Swift song in a press conference.
Good moment. That was a good moment.
To be clear, I love Taylor Swift's music. Sydney and I love it. We're big fans. Paula and Maddie love Pink. Love her too. Went to see her at AmFam a few years ago. Great. But I cannot tell you how petrified you feel when something like that happens. But Mike Sherman lost his crap at the media that day and in turn, revoked our access to Brett Favre that day because no one admitted to it being their phone. So that's one thing. What happened on Wednesday, I didn't mean to use up this much time on it. I just don't get it. I don't think that was necessary. All right, we need to move forward. A lot we want to get to still in the remaining 1 hour and 33 minutes. I'm going to turn the show back over to Strofe. We're not going to do our Mr. Irrelevant takeover just yet. I do want to get to something that Matt LaFleur did say yesterday on what he wants to get out of these practices. We'll get to that next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. The Milwaukee Brewers, the Miami Marlins.
Line drive, base hit! Ball game over! Caleb Durbin does it again!
Today on 100.5 ESPN.
It's always a beautiful experience coming out to the ballpark. Many fans prep in the parking lot amongst our legendary tailgaters. When you're ready for new windows and doors, prep for those at the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. See, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from different Pella lines side by side. And if you order by July 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years on Blue Mountain Road or visit PellaWI.com today.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit maplehillgolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
At Gruber Law Offices, we've helped tens of thousands of families after a serious accident. Our priority has always been our clients. We're here for you whenever you may need us. One call, that's all.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Wilde and Tausch back with you. It is Friday, the third and final ramp-up practice of training camp. We'll be down there soon, Rainichke Field, with some updates. We also have the shareholders meeting later this afternoon, so I'm sure the crowds out there are plentiful for the practice today. Again, Matt LaFleur telling reporters during his pre-practice presser that Savion Williams won't practice today, did not say why, and that Aaron Banks, their new left guard, is day-to-day with a back issue. But, Strofe, one of the things that I think you definitely want to get out of these first few practices is stay healthy and not get anybody hurt. So whatever might be going on with those two guys is less than ideal. But there's more to it than that. Here's Matt LaFleur discussing what he is trying to get out of the first few days of practice.
I think it's more about our habits, our standards, the non-negotiables, you know, how we practice, our processes. I think that's what we're trying to kind of lay the foundation for the season. You know, this is the first time really that our guys all off season, we haven't done run game full speed. So this was their first crack at it yesterday, and you're always trying to avoid guys on the ground. That's how people get hurt. Guys get rolled up. So I mean, there were a couple instances of that, but by and large, it was pretty clean. But it's all the little things that end up ultimately in many cases, decide the difference between winning and losing.
So that's not super exciting, right? Yeah, no blank. You want to, work on good habits and all that kind of good stuff.
He's gotten
you look
really
like you're
good at
itching
the
to say
coach speak.
something. Yeah. He can be really good. That was kind of bleh.
Yeah.
But be that as it may,
Yeah, a lot of it has been. Go ahead. Yeah.
But be that as it may, like, look, this is the world the NFL world we live in now, right? And so this is, what I thought was really interesting, borderline surprising, and maybe not the greatest answer that's ever been given. Like, if Awful Announcing wanted to criticize him for something, it should have been for his answer to the question about if there were no restrictions, would you want to practice more? From Pete Doherty, the Press Gazette. And he said no. He'd want more time in the building. He'd want more walkthroughs, but he wouldn't necessarily want to practice more. And I would have loved to have, and I didn't, but because I'm bad at jumping routes, I would have loved to have followed up on that. Because that I was curious about. Why? Well, why not? Why wouldn't you want more practice time? It seems like you'd want more practice time. But I think he's a believer, and I had this conversation with Homer. I think he's a big believer in work smarter, not harder. And I do think he thinks the game is more, up in your brain than it is necessarily what you're doing. So I understand why he answered that way, but it's still, again, if you want to get after somebody for something they said, that was an answer that I didn't think was his best answer, right? So, all right. So
I would agree.
You're going to take over now and do Mr. Irrelevant as like a sub show inside of our show.
I don't know if that's quite the right definition. We are going to do one segment we do on Mr. Relevant called One Word Wednesday on a Friday, where we're just going to hit a bunch of stuff we're not going to hit when you return from the sideline of practice.
So might be sports, might most likely not be sports, kind of randomness.
We might end up talking about the Chuck E. Cheese thing. I really want to talk about that.
Oh, okay. All right then.
No, I would love your insight on that topic. So maybe we'll get to you on that a bit later. But yeah, I want you to get over to practice. I want all the reports, all the juicy gossip going on at Nitschke Field. And we will. You're in good hands, Jason. We'll take care of Wilde and Tausch.
All right. Well, I'll believe that when I hear it. All right, you guys are going to take over. Not until, though, Tausch tells us from beyond the studio about his love of Coors Light. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Mark Tauscher here for the Blue Mountains of cold, refreshing Coors Light. Whether you're tailgating pregame, enjoying your experience during the game, celebrating a big win after the game, or you just need a moment to chill, crack open a Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Coors Light is brewed with a 3-step cold process: cold lager, cold filtered, and cold packaged, so it's actually made to chill. The mountains on Coors Light's cold-activated bottles and cans turn blue when chilled to perfection, which, besides the refreshing taste, is my favorite thing about drinking Coors Light. Refreshingly cold and only 102 calories, Coors Light is made to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. We ask and you answer. Tune in to Jim, Matt, and Molly every weekday 4 to 6. And follow at Jim, Matt, Molly on X to vote in daily poll questions. Presented by Siding Unlimited. Trust Siding Unlimited with your next window and door project.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, "Hey, how'd you pull this off?" Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Get ready for Germanfest, carnival style. Sink your teeth into Spanferkel, cheer on the tiny racers at the Dachshund Derby, and dance the night away with Vox Club, Juhe aus Tirol, and top bands from around the country. Don't miss the colorful parade, and on Saturday night, wear your best costume for the masquerade ball at the Miller Stage. Eat, drink, schunkel, and make it your tradition at Germanfest. For more information and online tickets, visit germanfest.com.
You love choices.
Like your choices with a Sweeto metal roof.
Choose standing seam or high-profile steel shingles that come in a variety of styles that last a lifetime.
Put a Sweeto metal roof on and take the worry off with choices.
I'm Mike.
And Mary Sweeto. Enjoy the long-lasting architectural strength and beauty of a Sweeto metal roof.
SWITA metalroofing.com.
Sweeto Metal Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Get ready to unleash the dragon at Hard Rock Casino Rockford.
Introducing the region's very first $1 million Dragon Link slot game. Feel the thrill, chase the excitement, and win big. With jackpots soaring to $1 million, your chance to hit it big is here. Come experience the ultimate gaming adventure. Visit Hard Rock Casino Rockford today and play the $1 million Dragon Link slot game. Your legendary win awaits. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's hard rock.
If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Ever thought about hitting a golf ball in Camp Randall Stadium? Well, now is your chance. On August 1st and 2nd, you can enjoy a VIP experience while hitting tee shots from the upper deck throughout the stadium down to custom greens on the field below. Start and end your round with great music, cold beers, food, and numerous golf challenges. Event is open to all ages, but hurry because tee times will go fast. Go to upperdeckgolf.com to book a tee time today. That's upperdeckgolf.com.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
With tears in my eyes and love in my soul, I feel like starting something. The pain it subsides the minute I go. I feel like
I'm Alex Strobe in for Mark Tauscher. Jason Wilde off to Packers practice. So it's just us. It's me. It's Hunter Vaughn back in the Everlight Solar Studio. It's Will Summers here with me in the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio in downtown Milwaukee, which means, Hunter, I mean, it's good to be with you, first off. Good morning. A little bit earlier than we're used to.
Yeah.
Aside from the essential or the usual Mr. Relevant, which we do 12:30 Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. No Mr. Relevant today because we're doing this. But do you have some music for us by chance? Can we really take over Wilde and Tausch for a moment?
Yeah, I mean,
and give it like the real Mr. Relevant feel?
Yeah, definitely.
There we go. Yeah. All right, away we go. The Friday abbreviated Mr. Irrelevant edition of Wilde and Tausch. I'm Alex Strobe. Hunter Vaughn with me. That's Will Summers.
I feel like I'm there now. I feel like I'm there in Mr. Irrelevant right now.
So we do a game each and every Wednesday. We call it One Word Wednesday. We're going to do it on a Friday, though, because, look, this job is awesome. We love what we do. Jason will attest. Like, we have the best jobs in the world. We're so lucky to get to do what we do. And, whether it's the normal hour or so, we do Mr. Relevant 3 times a week, whether it's the normal Wilde and Tausch 3 hours a day, it's still not enough time to hit everything we want to, including Charles Edward Cheddar. Chuck E. Cheese getting arrested, which I'm sure we'll get to in a moment. So we do One Word Wednesday, where Hunter has a list of topics we didn't have time to hit. And we just respond with one word, sometimes more, sometimes less. Sometimes we just tell Hunter to hit the bricks, right? We just skip it if it's a bad topic.
Throw some hyphens in there.
Yeah, sometimes it's hyphenated words, sometimes it's acronyms, but we try to accomplish our goal. So right now, right here, we're going to do a One Word Wednesday on a Friday on Wilde and Tausch with all the topics we didn't have time to hit. Will and I will each give one word. Hunter will give us our topics. That is what we will do until we reconnect with Jason at Packers practice. Training camp practice number 3. Jason will join us just in a few minutes. So, Hunter, the floor is yours, my friend. It is time for One Word Wednesday on a Friday.
We're going to start off in the baseball world as Arizona Diamondbacks first baseman Josh Naylor was traded to the Seattle Mariners. Naylor, a name that was connected to the Brewers as somebody they could target, and he's already off the board about a week before the trade deadline.
Well, I know you're so close to making a joke about his name.
No?
Okay. Got it.
We're all more mature than you, Stroh.
My word... Yeah, that's true. Not a high bar. My word is like... ease. I'm okay with this. I'm at ease. The trade deadline is not for another 6 days. So while I do expect the Brewers to be active and make a move at the deadline, because you would be stupid not to, right? You need to be buyers at the deadline. I'm at ease here, so I'm going to use the word ease. Well,
I'm going to go with the word sellers. The Arizona Diamondbacks are selling right before the trade deadline. And you know who plays for the Arizona Diamondbacks?
I do, yeah. Gino Suarez does.
Yes, a guy that has been rumored to be linked to the Brewers.
Heavily
potentially trading for. Has 36 home runs this year. Diamondbacks are sellers. Well, keep an eye on that.
Well, it's the story that Stroh wanted to get to. I'm not going to waste any more time. Yes. A Chuck E. Cheese employee was arrested while wearing the rat costume for credit card fraud. Stroh, just go ahead.
Yeah, I don't even want to do a one word here. The word would be how. Like, how do you know that's the guy? He's in a full-blown mouse costume. He is literally cosplaying as a rat. And you're like, oh, there's our guy. That's the credit card fraud guy. So this story out of Tallahassee, Florida, where a man in a full-blown, as Hunter just alluded to, full-blown Chuck E. Cheese costume, so he is the mascot, walking around this restaurant, arcade, where there are many, many children present. There is a picture on the internet of Chuck E. Cheese in cuffs, and there are 7 or 8 children looking on, and they look absolutely petrified, as a 6, 7, 5-year-old child would be, seeing, I don't want to call them your hero, but like, all these kids, I remember being a kid. Will, I'm sure you remember being a kid, Hunter. Right, he's your idol. You love Chuck E. Cheese. It's a happy place. You got arcades, you got games, you got, live performances. I remember the one right by Lambeau Field in Ashwaubenon / Green Bay, where they had the animatronic band, right? Like, I loved it. To see Chuck E. Cheese walk out with 3 police officers in cuffs, it's unbelievable. And they didn't know for sure that it was the guy until they got him out to the squad car and took off the head of Chuck E. Cheese, which, by the way, also terrifying for children. It's like breaking the fourth wall. I mean, like, wait, oh my God, that's a human? Like, these 6-year-old children had to be absolutely petrified.
Or this was like they got to do real-life Scooby-Doo, and they're taking off the mask of the criminal. So maybe this was actually a dream come true to these kids.
You know what? I like that spin zone. I like that spin by Hunter. But my word is how. How do you figure this out? How do you figure out, and also, another piece to this. Do you think, I legitimately do believe this. This is what I've convinced myself of. This guy got the job as a mascot to run away from his crimes. How could they arrest me at work if I'm Chuck E. Cheese? I think that's a smart play by him, but ultimately it didn't work. Exactly. Like, I'm not, for me, my name is Alex Strofe, right? I'm not Alex Strofe when I'm wearing that costume. I'm Chuck E. Cheese. You can't arrest Chuck E. Cheese. You can arrest Alex Strofe, but I'm not Alex Strofe right now. I'm Chuck E. Cheese. That's my view on it. Will?
I'm going to go with Moldy Cheese. His money is no good anymore. That's all I got.
That's so bad. You shouldn't be proud of that.
I was kind of proud.
Let's go back to baseball. The Milwaukee Brewers were off yesterday, but they still have a half-game lead on the Toronto Blue Jays for the best record in baseball.
Yeah, the word's badass. I mean, it's unbelievable what this team has been able to do this season. They don't have a bona fide superstar. It's as simple as that, right? Jacob Mizorowski might become that, but I think it's still too early to say he's a bona fide superstar. Freddie Peralta's been awesome, all right? Brandon Woodruff, since he's returned, has been awesome. Some of their bullpen arms, Abner Uribe, Trevor McGill, they've been great. But offensively, when we're talking about swinging the baseball bat, they don't have a bona fide superstar. Sal Frelick is still their best average. They don't have mash hitters, right? They don't have any mashers. Home runs, I think they're 24th in the league. But they play small ball so well. It's Murphy ball. What they've been able to accomplish this year is unbelievable. So my word for the Brewers, who get back to action later this afternoon, right? Well, it's a 3 o'clock game or something?
3:10 first pitch. You can hear it on 100.5 ESPN Madison. Madison's new home for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Of course you can. You got it, Hunter. 100.5 ESPN in Madison, as well as 620 WTMJ here in Milwaukee, where Will and I are. Look, I mean, it's legitimately unbelievable. And hopefully, fingers crossed, as they take on a pretty mid Marlins team this weekend, get a couple, and then Monday it's go time. You get the Cubs at AmFam Field Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday you're off again, and it's the trade deadline. So the next week for the Milwaukee Brewers will tell you how much they consider themselves World Series contenders.
My word is scrappy. Let me read you a quote from Caleb Durbin via Bob Nightingale. We know how good we are. If you're not ready to scrap 9 innings with us, at the end of the game, you're going to be on the wrong end of it. If that doesn't get you fired up for Pat Murphy in Brewers baseball, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
One last one here, going to college football. The Michigan Wolverines will open the 2026 season taking on Western Michigan in Germany. Now, the Badgers are scheduled to play Pittsburgh in Ireland, but other than Ireland, where do you want to see the Badgers play an international game?
My word is nowhere. I maybe it's because I'm just really, really down on the Badgers. But if you're going to go on a world tour, let's at least be good. I am so deflated when it comes to the Wisconsin Badgers this upcoming season. They have, and I don't know that it's even debatably, but they debatably have the toughest schedule in the country. If they go 4-8, I won't be surprised. If they go 6-6, I'll be surprised. That's how down on the Badgers I am. And I'm not down on Luke Fickell. I think he's I still am telling myself I think Luke Fickell is the answer. But I am just so deflated when it comes to this football team for this upcoming season. So my answer is nowhere, Hunter. If we're going to go to Japan or Italy or Ireland, or let's at least be good. Let's bring a good product. And that's where I am. That's where I'm stuck at.
I'm just going to go Cancun, somewhere nice, if we're going to have to watch them play football.
Let's get a little sun,
With the way things are going, if we're going to have to watch them play football, we might as well get by the beach, have a couple, have a couple
pina coladas.
Yeah, why not, soak up some sun, Then the football game is just an afterthought at that point.
Very good. All right, that is One Word Wednesday on a Friday here on Wilde and Tausch. I'm Alex Strofe in for Mark Tauscher today. Coming up next, Jason Wilde will rejoin us live from the sidelines of Nitschke Field. Practice number 3 for the 2025 football season is underway in Green Bay, so we will get the odds and ends from Jason Wilde. Coming up next, Will Summers, Hunter Vaughn, Alex Strofe with you from the Mr. Irrelevant crew, which you can watch and listen to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, beginning at 12:30. And, of course, you can get the podcast, the ESPN Wisconsin app, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. So no show today because we're here. They'd let the whole crew fill in today.
Inmates are running the prison.
Yeah, indeed. That's exactly what's happening here at Wilde and Tausch. But we at least get our prison guard back coming up next as Jason Wilde rejoins us from the sidelines of Packers practice. We get the updates from Nitschke Field coming up right after this. It's Wilde and Tausch, ESPN Wisconsin.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the Miami Marlins.
Line drive, base hit, ball game over.
today on 100.5 ESPN.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Sleep better with Tempur-Pedic at Steinhoffels. Queen hybrids from $52 per month plus $300 in Steinhoffels cash. Shop now in-store or online. Wisconsin volleyball receiving praise before the 2025 campaign gets rolling. The Big Ten Media preseason rankings listing Bucky at 3 on the list. On the players' end, Carter Booth, Mimi Collier, and Charlie Furbringer named to the All-Big Ten preseason squad. Collier and Furbringer also getting national recognition, the pair also appearing on the ABCA Player of the Year watch list, 2 of 30 to keep an eye on. August 17th versus Notre Dame at the UW Fieldhouse, the first match of the season. 100.5 ESPN is your home for Badgers volleyball.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella experience. Get 0% interest for up to 5 years if you order by July 31st at PellaWI.com.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Hey ESPN Milwaukee fans, Brian Balaga here for Surfside. Summer is heating up, and there's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside iced tea and vodka or Surfside lemonade and vodka to break the heat. Made with real brewed tea and real vodka, Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy no matter what your plans are this weekend. Look for the can with the sunset stripes, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Ever thought about hitting a golf ball in Camp Randall Stadium? Well, now is your chance. On August 1st and 2nd, you can enjoy a VIP experience while hitting tee shots from the upper deck throughout the stadium down to custom greens on the field below. Start and end your round with great music, cold beers, food, and numerous golf challenges. Event is open to all ages, but hurry because tee times will go fast. Go to upperdeckgolf.com to book a tee time today. That's upperdeckgolf.com.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
This weekend on ESPN Radio, 2 teams in the hunt for October go head-to-head.
Juan Soto ties the game.
The New York Mets are in San Francisco to face the Giants.
Sunday on 100.5 ESPN.
But I won't cry for yesterday. There's an ordinary world. Somehow I have to find. And as I try to make my
What was I called while I was gone? The prison guard? Is that what I heard? Prison guard?
That is what you heard, yes.
Well, you feel like I'm the guy in Shawshank or what? That I feel like I'm more affable than a prison guard. but as Will did say, the inmates were running the facility while I was away. Indeed. Good work. I got to listen to the whole thing. I would like to see you as some sort of furry character. Obviously, I have done that role. Elmo, Cookie Monster, Grover, Bucky Badger.
That's right. Yeah.
To multiple acclaim. I was never arrested while doing it, which is both good for me and for.
We should work on that.
I would love to know, because you guys discussed this and practice that we got special teams going on right now. Porn. But we'll get into Packers practice here during the 11 o'clock hour. Shaka Smart is here, Marquette men's basketball coach. So
nice. Shaka, say what's up.
I will. I just texted Homer. I don't think he knows who I am, so I'm not really sure how to approach that. And I don't know if I want to say I'm a friend of Homer's. But maybe.
Yeah, that's a great point. So I do have a Homer story for you real quick, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
So last night here at the 3rd Street Market Hall, which is where our ESPN Milwaukee studios are, we threw I don't want to call it a bachelor party. I don't think that's fair. We threw a Ben Brust bachelor happy hours. I think we went from 5 to 7. And we had some fans show up, which was awesome. It was great to meet everybody. And we were having a few cocktails. And right at 6 o'clock when the Homer hour ended, you hear a loud yell from across the way. And it's just, fireball! And Homer walks over to a group of about 15, 16, 17 of us. And he goes, we're doing fireball. And he orders a fireball shot for everybody there, all the fans that were there, some of our teammates, and our KBN crew, myself, Brad Nortman, Kyle Wallace, and, of course, Ben Brust. He orders a round of fireball shots, and then he disappears. He didn't say goodbye. He just was gone. And that is Steve the Homer True. He's the best.
What is the backstory on the fireball with him?
He loves it. It's
his favorite
alcoholic beverage. It must be. And the other thing, him and I were arguing. He was walking around carrying all of his belongings in a pillowcase, which I just thought was a little, for a guy as
his
accomplished as him.
Or he
you call him
them from another house.
I think they were his. There was a notebook. His phone was in there. His wallet was he had to set down a pillowcase to pull out his wallet to pay for what he had purchased. And you call him the GOAT for a reason. He is the GOAT. He's the greatest Milwaukee sports radio guy ever, hands down. And I just thought for a man as accomplished as you, for somebody that's been, on the pulse of Wisconsin and Milwaukee sports for as long as you have, and being the voice of Marquette basketball, I thought he was above carrying his belongings around in a pillowcase. It was just quite a visual that I can't explain. It's almost that you had to be there to believe it. It's like, what are you doing?
What did he say?
Steve the Homer True, man. He said, well, it's not a pillowcase. I got this bag with a really fancy pair of shorts. I said, okay, so you're literally calling yourself fancy pants right now. And he said, well, no, I just got the bag. It's a tote bag. But it didn't have strings. It didn't have a handle. It was a pillowcase. It was unbelievable.
He is certainly one of one. We all know that. But he is the GOAT, and I know he hates it when I call him that, but nobody has done it better in the history of Wisconsin sports talk than him. So he may not like it, but it's the truth, and that's where I'll leave it. That said, I still don't know if that's my opening line to Shaka when I see him later or not. What I can tell you is that
I'm friends with the guy that carries around a pillowcase.
That's true. By the way, we're being told that it is a concussion for Savion Williams. So that answers that question.
Okay.
Not sure why that was withheld in the manner that it was, but nevertheless, that is what Savion Williams' situation is. So he is not participating in today's practice, nor is Aaron Banks. We will have more there's been a new addition to practice. Players running up and down the sideline, getting the fans hyped up. I kind of like it. I like what they're going for over there. Got a Go Pack Go chant going. The atmosphere is raucous with the shareholders meeting coming up later this afternoon. We have more of Wilde and Tausch coming up in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tausch here with an offer for a bath or shower remodel from Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get $1,000 off your Lugstone shower remodel and no interest financing for 12 months. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Hi, this is former Badger Pro Football Hall of Famer Joe Thomas. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison. Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What is up, Madison? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Your Sports Center update is brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's premier roofing, siding, and window contractor since 2002. Visit them at ridgetopexteriors.com. It's day 3 of Green Bay Packers training camp. We've got Jason Wilde live up in Green Bay, and Alex Strofe back at the Gruber Law offices, One Call That's All Studios, bringing you some training camp coverage. On to Major League Baseball. Milwaukee was off yesterday and back at it today as they are hosting the Miami Marlins. Freddie Peralta is on the mound for the Crew with his 12-4 record and a 2.85 ERA. Coverage will start at 2:34. First pitch is at 3:10. You can hear that game right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's new home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball. And baseball fans will keep our eyes out for the July 31st trade deadline as that closes at 5 p.m. Stay up to date at ESPN.com or right here to see if the Milwaukee Brewers make any moves.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now as the Packers go through practice at Ray Nitschke Field. We roll on with Hunter Vaughn and Alex Strofe as our cousin subs of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. So I was a little delayed getting down here. The tours go through where our offices are, Strofe. And
Did they celebrity you out? Celebrity?
No, quite the opposite, actually. So I ran to go to the little sports writers room, so I wouldn't have to go when I'm down here because there are no public facilities at practice. So you just got to hold it otherwise. So I come back and there's the tourists come through, and there's like a 10-year-old kid in my office, and he's now. First of all, I understand why, because I got like bobbleheads.
You steal your bobbleheads?
He did not steal anything. No, there were no, we don't have to give him the Chuck E. Cheese treatment and haul him away in cuffs. But I was a little surprised when I turned the corner and there was somebody in there. The tour was over in the kind of common area, and there he was. So we had a nice little conversation. And he said, which was, I took it as a compliment, but either that or that he doesn't get to see enough cool stuff. This is the coolest part of the tour, he says. I said, no.
Wow.
No, young squire. No. The coolest part of the tour,
young squire,
is still to come. And so my question for you, Alex Strofe, is
too humble.
Have you been on the Lambeau Field tour yourself?
I actually have not been. I've done the Hall of Fame before it was renovated, which was like 10 years ago now, I think. So I am well overdue for at least the Hall of Fame tour. The stadium tour, no. I mean, I've been in, given what we do for a living, I've been, I've been blessed enough to do see some of the parts of Lambeau Field you don't typically get to see, which includes your office. I popped in there one season. Boy, is it, it's a sight to see, your office. I don't know if I'd call it the coolest part I saw of Lambeau Field, but it's a sight to see, that's for sure.
So as I like to say when
would you consider yourself real quick? Would you consider yourself an organized fella?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that when you look at your office.
No, it's all organized. It's just a lot. It's hoarding. Now, would you consider yourself an organized fella? Yes. Would you say you consider yourself a hoarder? Also, yes. Right?
Probably also yes. Yeah.
I'm very nostalgic. Our buddy Matt Carney's got a song out right now called "Drowning in Nostalgia," and I'm 100% guilty of that. Like, I love my 1982 Brewers. I love my guy Robin Yount. I love Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Christmas special. So I've got like all the characters from that as little bobbleheads on my shelf. So I got a lot of stuff that brings me, we all have our things from our childhood that maybe weren't great, and then we've got some of our fond memories. And so I kind of celebrate my fond memories. So that's the thing. I do enjoy the bobblehead game. I've got one of like our friend Joe Thomas, Pro Football Hall of Famer, for a giveaway for the Cleveland minor league hockey team. So he's there in a hockey uniform on skates, which he's already a big dude. So imagine him on skates. He's like 6'11" when he's on skates. But I do love that kind of stuff, right? And Paula doesn't. And so I have to have a few locations where those items can all be placed. And by the way, we're running routes on air right now. So if you're sitting there going, God, come on, Wilde, tell us about what's happening at practice. We got the DBs working on plucking interceptions, which are being thrown without a wide receiver in the area. It's just one on none. And then we've got the receivers and tight ends catching balls with their position coaches and the quarterbacks thrown into the nets. But so Paula has basically, look, there's a couple of locations you can keep all this stuff. I don't know if she usually uses the word stuff, but again, I'm not pushing the conversational envelope on the FCC violations. So I've got it.
Yeah, I know. You already did that this week. Yeah.
I've got it in my radio studio in the basement. I've got it in my office at Lambeau Field. And then we have a spare bedroom where I like to work when I'm at home if I need to be avoiding distractions and cats and dogs and TVs and everything else. So those are kind of the spots where that kind of stuff resides. And if you come on the tour and you see my office, yeah, it's different. But as I was trying to explain to them, and what I would say, and I'm not here to drive tour sales for the Packers, but I know our portion of the tour had actually been removed during the off season because the players were using the third locker room that they built for like soccer friendlies and football games that are played here that don't involve the Packers because they don't allow teams to use the Packers locker room. So that's where the players were. So that was all off limits. So no one's come through. But the tour ends, and I'll never forget Mike McCarthy telling this story early in his tenure about how after he got the job, he went down to the tunnel that you walk out of. And after they renovated the stadium, they took the slab of concrete that had been in the old home tunnel, and Mike Sherman had it moved, and there's a big plaque there that discusses the hundreds of great players in franchise history that walked across that same slab of concrete. And they hit a button and it plays that 2 Unlimited song from Jock Jams, and Bill Jartz's booming voice says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the Green Bay." And I remember McCarthy saying, "Yeah, I'll tell you where that button is. You can push it anytime you want if you're by yourself." Because he did that like his first year as the coach. And it was like this, kind of like, I don't know, moment, like unforgettable moment for him. And then obviously he went on to lead them to a Super Bowl title and all that kind of stuff. So it was a really cool thing. It's a really cool thing they get to do. You go out onto the field. You're not allowed to set foot onto the grass. They have a little sign to tell you not to do that. But If you have not been on one of those tours, I highly recommend it. The bobbleheads are definitely not the highlight of the tour. And I tried to explain this young fella, hey, the best part of the tour is coming up. And he said, no, I'd rather stay here.
Wow.
And I said, no, get the hell out of here, kid. I got to go to practice.
Oh, come on, Jason. You should have said, hey, you should come with me to practice. I'll teach you everything you need to know about being a Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, a statewide syndicated radio host, an accomplished member of the media, one of the longest tenured people on the Packers beat. Prison guard today on Wilde and Tausch. So hold on. I need to do my Tausch impression and also just strofe ADHDism. Jason, 50 Days in 50 States is a promotion that ESPN Sports Center has been doing all summer. Today is Wisconsin. They are at practice right now doing live hits on Sports Center. By the end of the show, so over the course of the next 45 minutes, can we get a Jason Wilde appearance on ESPN2, please? Can we make sure we make that happen? Can you just walk behind their camera or something?
No.
Come on.
No, definitely not. No.
Come on. We're on the radio. It's good promotion for the show.
Could you like the Sasquatch walk behind it?
Just for the record, I was not that rude to the kid, but I did need to get down to practice, and he did need to leave. So I kind of gently shepherded him back to his mother. So I don't know. Yeah, it was not exactly Mean Joe Green giving away the jersey to the kid in the commercial.
I bet.
So
Coca-Cola? Got it.
No, I'm not gonna walk behind. It'd be a bubbler for me anyway. I'm not gonna walk behind cameras. I stand in a corner of the practice field, doing the radio show, so I'm not irritating other people that are trying to watch practice. So no, I stay far away from all the hullabaloo until I'm done on the radio, which will be in exactly 45 minutes. All right, we do need to talk about what's going on at practice. We will do that coming up. Alex Strofe is in for Tausch. Hunter Vaughn is in for Jesse. This is Wilde and Tausch. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for the great team at Everlight Solar. There's a bunch of energy and excitement around the start of brand new football seasons in Green Bay and Madison. And speaking of energy, the start of a new football season could also mean the start of a new way to power your home. How would you like to start saving money while also helping save the planet? All you have to do is make the switch with Everlight Solar. Our family is one of many who have made the switch to solar over the last several years. We knew we had wanted to, but weren't exactly sure where to even start. That's when we met with the Everlight team, and they outlined the entire process and educated us on the benefits of making the switch. It was super simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
Madison's home of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Lots up top to Giannis. Whoa, what a play!
Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
Underneath it, bump set, left side, powers it down. What a rally! And Wisconsin comes out on top.
And now, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Fly ball to center. It is way back, and it is gone.
This is Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers, 100.5 ESPN.
It's always a beautiful experience coming out to the ballpark. Many fans prep in the parking lot amongst our legendary tailgaters. When you're ready for new windows and doors, prep for those at the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. See, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from different Pella lines side by side. And if you order by July 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years on Blue Mountain Road, or visit PellaWI.com today.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
I knew that we were going to be getting engaged soon and needed to do some ring shopping. Heard the radio ads of Chalmers and decided, hey, we should give it a shot at Chalmers.
They were just awesome at accepting us through the door and understanding what she wanted in terms of how she wanted it, and they delivered.
Everybody always is telling me how sparkly my ring is. They tell me that they really like the style of the ring and the setting that it's in. I am ecstatic with it.
Thank you, Chalmers.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Ever thought about hitting a golf ball in Camp Randall Stadium? Well, now is your chance. On August 1st and 2nd, you can enjoy a VIP experience while hitting tee shots from the upper deck throughout the stadium down to custom greens on the field below. Start and end your round with great music, cold beers, food, and numerous golf challenges. Event is open to all ages, but hurry because tee times will go fast. Go to upperdeckgolf.com to book a tee time today. That's upperdeckgolf.com.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offer the Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Dancing on the edge, about to take it too far. Messing with my head, how I mess with your heart. If you wake up in your bed, alone in the dark, I'm sorry. Gotta leave before you love.
Routes on air continue. Boy, did Nicole Hardman get open on that one. In all seriousness, Strofe, I said this, I think, to KBN yesterday, maybe, when I wasn't using inappropriate words, that I feel like I was unfairly dismissive of Nicole Hardman. Like, you know, they picked him up.
Why does Domovsky get to go on SportsCenter and you don't? I'm watching Domovsky's bald head on SportsCenter right now. Where were you?
He works for ESPN. I don't.
So do you.
No, I don't. I work for Good Karma Brands.
Walk over there. Just go crash the interview. I want to see you on TV.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely not gonna. I saw him and Schneidman do that yesterday, where they walked behind on Packers.com. You're welcome. On Packers.com when Wes Hodgkiss. I was holding the door for some fans to come through. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm like the doorman here. Thanks for coming. Stay cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So while your boy's on SportsCenter, I'm opening the door for fans to leave practice.
God, you're such a man of the people, J-Dub.
I gotta tell you, that is on brand. That was fun, and a couple of them knew who I was too. So we appreciate them listening to Wilde and Tausch and watching and all the other good stuff. No, so Nicole Hardman, that was a lot actually, and they couldn't get the door to work. It is tricky, I'll say that. So Nicole Hardman.
All right, ADD, back on track. Here we go.
You're the ADD guy. I had
HD.
people interrupt me. Oh, you've got it. It's a double whammy. So yes. The signing of Nicole Hardman to me was kind of just a footnote signing, right? Minimum contract, hasn't really done much in the last 3 years. Other than, oh, by the way, catching the game-winning touchdown pass in the Super Bowl, which was a pretty big deal. But I'll tell you this, he has every practice I have attended leading into today, which was 2 OTAs that we were allowed to go to, 3 mini camp practices, and now day 3 of training camp. He makes a play just about every day where you go, whoa. He had a touchdown to end one of the mini camp practices. He had a touchdown on day 1 on Wednesday. He had a great catch over the middle in total traffic. And it was great. Like he's, for a guy that when I look at this team, and we've talked about this before, Strofe, I view that there's basically 8 or 9 guys that I would argue are NFL caliber players that can earn a spot at wide receiver on this roster, right? We've got Watson, Dobbs, Reed, and Wicks, right? Bo Melton, who, of course, is now working, obviously, at corner. We've got Malik Heath, who's had some moments, right? So now we're up to 6. We got the 2 draft picks, Matthew Golden and Savion Williams. Now we're up to 8. And then number 9 is McCole Hardman, who wears number 6. I mean, that's a lot of guys that have played in the NFL or are high draft picks that are going to make the roster. And they're not going to keep 9 wide receivers. They've already converted one into a corner in an effort to keep him on the roster. We don't know how long it's going to be before Christian Watson, who's doing some side-to-side skipping in front of the fans across the field right now. I'll tell you this, he looks good. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I'm probably going to be wrong on my timeline for his return. But what I'm saying is that I looked at McCole Hardman and thought, I don't like this guy's chances. But that's what training camp is for, is to overcome the odds and make plays that get people's attention and get you more snaps and get you more opportunities. And then if you take advantage of those opportunities, then you get even more opportunities. And on a team where I think it's Matt Orzech, the long snapper, Brandon McManus, the kicker, technically Zane Anderson, who was on the roster for the Chiefs for a Super Bowl and has a ring, but did not play in the game, and McCole Hardman, that's your Super Bowl experience here. That's it. For many years after the 2010 team won it, there were, 30, 40, 45 guys on the roster who'd been on a Super Bowl team. That's not the case here. So maybe McCole Hardman brings something a little bit different than these other guys do. Plus, he's got return capabilities, so that's an option. So I would, even though he's not listening right now because he's in the huddle, McCole Hardman, I apologize. You got a better shot than I thought when we first got started. Horn.
So I totally agree with you, and I love your use of the word footnote, because I felt like he was a footnote in the Packers offseason. I think like even Isaiah Simmons got more buzz when he was signed for the Packers defense, and that's another interesting character, I think, for this training camp and preseason to keep an eye on. But McCole Hardman, I noticed, especially day one, and I was only there, granted, for 45 or so minutes on Wednesday. That was day one of practice. But he was running with the ones immediately. Like, they were doing walkthroughs. It was the very first drill they did, and McCole Hardman was running with the ones. So I thought that was fascinating. What is this music playing? Is that from your connection, Jason? What was that? Why am I hearing music? Hunter?
That's
Help?
Jason's phone.
Is he getting a phone call? What's happening?
Not sure. I think we're good now.
Lost my connection.
Jason, are you here?
I'm here. Great to have.
Well, I guess since I don't want to compare that music to what I want to compare it to, but it sounded like something out of a 1980s video, if you know what I'm saying. But that's beside the point. Rob Domofsky just pulled a Wilde. He was bragging about his kids on national television.
Good for him. What else do we have to talk about?
Well, we were talking about McCole Hardman. Where are you right now? You sound like you're in a bathroom. Are you at practice still?
I'm right where I was the whole time. Yeah, I'm still working the door.
You're amazing.
I am. Like, I just had to do it again twice. I've now propped it open.
Move.
No,
yeah, maybe find like a garbage can to keep it open.
There are no real options for that. So I'm just gonna keep doing the Lord's work over here.
Okay.
While Rob's doing the Lord's work.
Jason's a multi-tool.
Well, he's host. He's a multi-tool player. No doubt about that. He's a utility guy. He's the best. So hold on, Jason. Let's go back to McCole Hardman real quick. Let's get back on track. So I think he's going to make the roster. Do you?
I still don't.
Okay. It's a crowded room. It's hard.
It is very hard. I would say this. I like his chances better than I did before. But I still think he's got a ways. He's got more to do. And again, this is part of the problem. And I know what's the line from my gal Taylor Swift? It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. I get that.
That is indeed the line. Yeah.
Right. I get that I am part of this kind of make a big deal out of it. I'm so sick of fixing this door for people. That part of the excitement that that I create by what we're talking about. And I'm contributing to McCole mania by talking about how well he's played these first couple of days.
But he's running with the ones, Jason. Like it's not a fluke.
No
it's not like they're. They are respecting his background, his career, and despite him being, I loved your use of the word footnote. Despite him being a small headline in the Packers offseason, it seems as if the coaches like him a heck of a lot better than the rest of us do, at least as of now. And there's obviously a lot of ball game left, as you said earlier, in terms of the offseason, right? We've got to get through a bunch of training camp. We've got to get through the 3 preseason games, yada, yada. But I am so fascinated by the idea of him bringing experience to that room because I think for me, right, and Hunter was part of this, during the offseason, we ran the BBD, Bring Back Devontae campaign, because I thought they were in such desperate need of a veteran wide receiver in that room. There's clearly a lot of talent. There's a lot of guys with a lot of tools in their toolboxes. They just don't quite know how to use them yet. And maybe that changes this year for guys like Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks, where it clicks, right? They're finally able to put it all together. But a veteran, I think, from a leadership perspective, has been desperately needed there. And he has the return capabilities. Keyshawn Nixon said after the season, I know he walked it back, but he no longer wants to do that. So, and Christian Watson's likely going to start the season on the PUP list at minimum. So, is there a spot for him at least at the beginning of the season? I'm starting to think the answer is much closer to yes than no.
Yeah, I'm super curious to see how all this shakes out. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier in the show with your million ways that they can go in terms of what combination it's going to be for their opportunity. This is both the good and the bad of where they're at. Like, they don't have anybody that you're like, they cannot live without this guy, right? Like, they're gonna have to live without Christian Watson for a while. We know that. That's just the nature of his injury. And I agree that he's, Goody certainly left the impression he's not, despite how ahead of schedule and how great he looks, he's not going to be on the field for practice. They don't want to risk him. He's certainly not going to practice in full. Whether they take him off PUP, I guess it's possible. I don't think it's likely. So, it's going to be interesting to see how all that stuff plays out. But the one thing that is good about this is that the more good football players you bring in, the greater opportunity you have to find ones that are going to be really productive. And so, who knows who it'll be? Maybe it'll be Shavion Williams. We have to wait and see, who pops. But
yeah,
Matthew Golden just ran a jet sweep. They're doing all kinds of things.
Jet sweep. Oh my God!
Yeah,
Jason, I'm going to be irrational for a moment. I'm going to be irrational for a moment. Just let me be irrational. It's July. I understand that, but I'm just picturing right now. Oh my goodness, I'm going to get so excited when I say this. Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, out of the gun. Wide receivers, 2 on the field. Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, 2 tight ends. Luke Musgrave, and Tucker Kraft. That might be too many people, but regardless.
Why are we whispering?
I just love the idea of I'm whispering because I'm excited. I'm excited, and I don't want to over-excite how fun this offense could be. Because Matt LaFleur, creative, offensive mind, he's got all these different wide receivers that are capable of so many things. We've got multiple tight ends. This offense could be really, really good. It could be the best offense in the league, and I don't think that's an overreaction. It could be, but things need to pop.
The best offense in the
I told you I'm not going to overreact, but this could be the best offense in the league. I'm not going to overreact, though.
Yep. Doesn't sound like overreacting to me at all. All right, we will roll on. We've got some Whoa Hunter coming up. I'm sure I'll interrupt that when we see some moments. Right now they're going 11 on 11. It is at the far end of the field, which I am not standing on because I don't think anyone wants to listen to half of Wilde and Tausch and not be able to hear the other half while I'm standing right next to them, blathering on in their ears. So I will continue to watch. We'll have updates, and we'll have Whoa Hunter next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. Well, training camp practices and preseason games are great opportunities for the guys up in Green Bay to make sure they're fully ready for their regular season performances. Well, if they didn't work on things before the games count, there could be some big mistakes that happen in the regular season. Well, the same goes for car maintenance. Get your vehicle checked before you go on a long road trip or an issue comes up during an important, busy time in your life. There is no better vehicle service team than the team I trust over at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Get a tune-up, check the battery, check your tires, change the oil. Make sure all the inner workings of your vehicle are in tip-top shape so you can focus on the fun of getting from place to place for whatever your next adventure holds. Schedule a service appointment, view vehicle inventory, and learn more about all they have to offer at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. That's ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Fix any issues before it counts. When it comes to your vehicle, take my word for it and trust the fantastic team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. The name you can trust.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on July 29th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh my goodness, third down.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in July 29th at 6:40 on WISC TV in Madison, or check your local listings to watch the game.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
It's Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison, brought to you by Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut. Pizza Hut is hooking pizza lovers up with more of what they love this summer with the launch of the Pizza Hut Lovers Pizzas, a limited-time lineup of 4 over-the-top pizzas, each piled high with premium toppings priced at $12.99 for one large pizza. Choose from the Loaded Legends Meat Lovers, Pepperoni Lovers, Veggie Lovers, and the new Spicy Hawaiian. Head to pizzahut.com or select Pizza Hut locations to enjoy your own Free Food Friday. And caller number 3 right now gets free pizza and wings. That's caller number 3 at 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776 for free pizza and wings.
Get ready to say goodbye to those bland seltzers at the ballpark. Carbless is proudly Wisconsin-born, crafted by real people. A husband and wife team who wanted better cocktails in a can. They're locally made and blissfully better. Carbless offers a bold, true cocktail flavor that's made for baseball fans. Available in fan-favorite flavors like lemon lime, black raspberry, cranberry, and mango, bringing the craft cocktail bar to your seat. Refreshment that matches the energy of American Family Field is Carbless. Full of flavor, no sugar, and no carbs. Just game day bliss.
If you're considering solar energy, Suite of Metal Roofing and solar panels go hand in hand.
Solar panels install effortlessly over metal, and it enhances the efficiency of your solar energy.
Before you go solar,
install a Suite of Metal roof.
I'm Mike.
And Mary Suita. Enjoy the long-lasting architectural strength and beauty of a Suite of Metal roof.
SWITA metalroofing.com.
Suite of Metal Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. At tea time, everybody agrees. I'll stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. It must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero.
Still working the door. Sure everybody gets through safely. Checking passes. Thanking them for coming. As well as watching from afar the 11-on-11 periods going down at the far end of the field. Time now for Whoa Hunter.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde
Hunter!
and Tausch.
Hunter, before
gentlemen.
you start, quick update on the offensive line. So they're obviously having to do some juggling today with Aaron Banks not practicing. He's got the back issue. We already know that Elton Jenkins is on the non-football injury list. So they started out Zach Tom at right tackle, Rasheed Walker at left tackle, as he has been. You're welcome. Thanks for coming. On the interior, it's real. Like if there was a closed circuit TV, you would see me doing this.
Dude,
so
this is so good.
So at center, the first time around it was Sean Ryan. The second time around it was Jacob.
Oh yeah.
And then the guard spots.
Okay.
It was Jordan Morgan at left guard, Jacob Monk at right guard. Second time around, Sean Ryan gets to move to his regular right guard position. Monk goes to center, and Jordan Morgan at left guard. So they're trying some different stuff with the injuries that they've got across the offensive line. There's still a lot of camp left, but I will say this: there's no position on the roster that relies on working together more than the offensive lines. The longer this lingers, the longer it'll be a concern. Time now for Wolf Hunter. Sorry about that, Hunter.
No, you're good. I've held my tongue about this the entire show, but we need to address Alex Strouf's hypocrisy. So I'm going to take you guys back to 1 year ago when the Illinois Fighting Illini unveiled their special anniversary uniforms from their game that they had against Michigan, and they had painted leather helmets, and what Alex Strouf said about them.
Face mask, and then the top of the jersey is navy blue, but then there's like orange stripes working its way down to the pants. Those are disgusting. I don't like them.
So he went on to also call them grotesque. An ad was about to play, so I had to cut it short. But Strouf, it's the exact same uniform that the Packers have, and you said that the Packers nailed it. The helmet's exactly the same.
Packers nailed
the
it.
only difference is that there isn't orange on it.
Helmet's better.
It's the same.
Helmet's better, and orange is an ugly color. I stand by what I said. I think the Packers' alternate uniforms, which I'm sure Wilde and Bulaga covered yesterday, they are awesome. I love them. I mean, it's a better look than what they did in the 2010s with the weird circle on the front of the jersey. I never really was a big fan of those. The helmet's awesome. I mean, they're all individually hand-painted, which is really cool. Illinois, my problem was more with the jersey than the helmet, if I'm not mistaken. Granted, I have not listened back to what I said a year ago.
Was grotesque.
Oh, yikes. That's not a great look for me because I love the Packers. Yeah, this is just homerism showing by me, I guess. That's on me. It's fair. I'll take it. I'll wear that one.
Nice of you to own that. Yeah, look, I feel like, interception. Not sure.
Oh, who threw it? Love?
I'm 1,000 miles away. No, think Malik Willis, but don't quote me on it. Deep ball down the field, so shot play. Yeah, I'll be honest. I did not like the helmets when Illinois wore them, and then I looked at them yesterday at T-Bone, and I thought these are really cool. So I'm a hypocrite just as much as you are, because I think they're done a little more nicely than the Illinois ones were. I think they are better, but it's the same concept, and it's certainly, we can all agree that not only is it better than the jersey, gold circle, but it's also better. You're welcome. Better than the.
Thanks for coming.
The brown helmets that they. It's incredible. I stand here every day. I've never had it where this many people have not been able to take them. It's better than the brown helmets. Remember that? Like when they would wear throwbacks.
Oh, totally
they would just
agree.
wear plain brown, like poop brown helmets.
Hated that.
To simulate the leather helmet. This is way better. I love it. I think it was really cool, and kudos to them. And by the way, I know I wrote about this at channel3000.com, so did everybody else. The 1923 uniforms have a special significance. It is the year that they had their first stock sale, and the year that they became a publicly owned organization in order to save, organization. So it's pretty cool that they, Cliff Crystal, obviously their historian, was front and center on that. It's pretty cool that it's turned into what it has, because that's got some real historical significance in addition to being popular at the pro shop. Whoa, Hunter.
Whoa, Nelly.
One last one for you. I'm sure you guys saw this on Twitter, but I need the rest of ESPN Wisconsin to see this. Our very own Wally Lukachinski from the Dam Sports Show in Beaver Dam had this image, and I know, Jason, you can't see it, but it is a image of him wearing a Raiders jacket with no shirt on underneath it. But Strofe, do you know where he put this image?
I hope Tinder or
this was
Bumble or Match.com, eHarmony.
No.
Christian Mingle. I don't know.
This was on the final slide of his presentation to leadership in Beaver Dam for him to get his job. He put a shirtless photo that says sex appeal level 100 on a professional slide and somehow managed to get a job.
And he landed the job.
Yes.
There is nobody quite like Wally Lukachinski. For those of you unfamiliar, Wally is an absolute one of one. I mean, there is nobody like him. He's got the long hair, and Jason appears with those guys a couple times a week. He loves those guys, Corey and Wally, the Damn Sports Show from 4 to 5 p.m. on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, where you can hear us right now. This guy's incredible. He did his bowling challenge a couple months ago. He did a raft thing this past weekend where he built a cardboard raft and had to go into the lake, and he immediately sunk. It was amazing. And now next Friday he's doing a dart challenge where he has to score like 29,000.
Yep.
On a dartboard, which is the height of Mount Everest. I don't know where we connect the dots on that one, but
they were going to
have
to climb the stairs at Beaver Dam High School until they reached the equivalent, and they realized how many laps they would have to do, and HR, I believe, got involved because of a health risk.
I asked Jason during trivia earlier if we did a list of the sexiest ESPN Wisconsin hosts written by Cosmopolitan magazine, would Jason be on it? He declined to comment. I'm starting to think that picture of Wally Lukachinski should be the cover of the next Cosmopolitan magazine. Wheel and Deal and Sex Appeal and Wally Lukachinski.
I mean, it says it on there, sex appeal level 100.
Jason, how uncomfortable are you right now?
I'm not even listening at this point. No, I love Wally. I'll say this about both you and him, even though your physiques are slightly different. You both are fearless. And you don't mind being the butt of a joke or two, or more.
All.
Yeah. And so I respect that. I'm very selective about what jokes I'm okay with being the butt of. And you guys are shameless, and I respect you both for that. I do want to see this photo, so I'm eager to see that. But those guys do a great job.
Text it to him, Hunter. He needs to see it.
Oh, I will.
And look,
it'll be burned into your brain.
Hunter, how long have you been full-time on our team?
It's been about a year now.
Yeah, so you've been with us for a while, but you're full-time. I'm just really proud of you got a lot of really young talent. I'm not as young as I used to be. I think I still think I've got some good years ahead of me. Apparently Jordy Nelson is here, according to Aaron Nagler, and of course now I'm getting the Jordy Nelson jokes on my social channel. I'm not at the point of retiring like Jordy Nelson did from the NFL, but he looks good. He
put him at corner
too. Yeah, well, that's most domain now. But we've got a ton of really great young folks, and I'm lucky today to be surrounded by several of them. Hunter is younger than he looks. Strofe is still a kid, and full-time Will also part of the show today. So we've got a great group, and then Wally and Corey. I'm so glad we're giving those guys that opportunity to get reps. They've been great. So if you have not tuned in, you can catch them on the YouTube channel for Daily Dodge. You can also obviously catch them on ESPN Beaver Dam. I highly recommend their shows on at 4 o'clock on weekdays. I join them twice a week. They're doing a great job. They're improving a ton, and the future of our content and of our team and of our stations and our company relies on having young, up-and-coming talent. And we got a ton of that. We're lucky to have that, and I'm grateful for that. All right, Packers practice is rolling on. We need to get to Feel Good Friday. By the way, I was right. The interception was thrown by Malik Willis, but not his fault. Julian Hicks got his legs tangled up and fell down. And Carrington Valentine was Johnny on the spot, getting his second interception in as many days. Of course, he is Alex Stroh's guy. So we're happy for CV, as they call him around here. That's a Feel Good Friday moment. He'll be a top corner
this year, Jason. I'm telling you.
You did say that.
That's going to be. He's going to be a top corner this year.
We will see if Stroh.
I believe in their scouting department on Nate Hobbs, and I believe in Keyshawn Nixon. I think it's a good problem to have. I think they have 3 good corners in that defensive backfield, and obviously they'll get creative in the nickel and whatnot with Javon Bullard being involved. But I think Valentine is going to go from being a good story to a good corner this year.
I believe that is your third good problem to have reference during Wilde and Tausch today. One problem we do have is we have limited time, but we have enough time for Feel Good Friday, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints. That's next to wrap up the show, so stick around.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app, customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Mark Tausch here, and even though I'm off the show today, training camp is underway, which means regular season football is just around the corner. And that has me feeling good on a Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints. Stick around to hear some of the best feel-good stories of the week coming up to close out today's show. Well, I am not spending my time off painting my house because our family trusted Holman Lindsay's great team of pro painters. They're super easy to get in touch with, and they do a tremendous job. All you have to do, stop into any Madison area Holman Lindsay location, ask a member of the team, and they'll help you get in touch with the best pro for your job. From hot summer days to brisk winter nights, Holman Lindsay is the one paint that can withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. That's why we can say Holman Lindsay truly is Wisconsin's best paint. Holman Lindsay, great paint, great people. Check them out at holmanlindsay.com and stick around for Feel Good Friday coming up to close out today's show, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Bruner Realty, providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area for over 30 years. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get housed today. Wisconsin volleyball receiving praise before the 2025 campaign gets rolling. The Big Ten Media preseason rankings listing Bucky at 3 on the list. On the players' end, Carter Booth, Mimi Collier, and Charlie Furbringer named to the All Big Ten preseason squad. Collier and Furbringer also getting national recognition, the pair also appearing on the ABCA Player of the Year watch list, 2 of 30 to keep an eye on. August 17th versus Notre Dame at the UW Fieldhouse, the first match of the season. 100.5 ESPN is your home for Badgers volleyball.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella experience. Get 0% interest for up to 5 years if you order by July 31st at PellaWI.com.
ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see the teams recognized for making a positive impact in the community. It's the Game Changers of the Month, presented by Zimbrick Honda.
What's in your summer survival kit? Mark Tausch here, and I'll tell you what should be. A cooler full of drinks, a comfy lawn chair, and for just $12.99, a large Hut Lovers pizza from Pizza Hut. For a limited time, choose from 4 loaded legends: meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, veggie lovers, and the spicy Hawaiian for just $12.99. Hot, melty, and made to crush hunger. A perfect summer go-to order. Order up before it's gone on the Pizza Hut app. And remember, nobody out-pizzas the Hut. Additional charge for extra toppings, pan, stuffed crust, and extra cheese.
Gear up for Quick Trip's Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Now through August 17th. Play free daily in the Quick Rewards app and earn bonus plays with every eligible purchase. Grab one with hot food. That's 2 bonus plays. Each week, the cash prize climbs by $5,000, all the way to a $250,000 grand prize. So open the app and get climbing. Your summer, your climb, your win. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents residing in Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan, South Dakota, North Dakota, or Wisconsin. Ends August 17th. Bonus plays require qualifying purchase. See full rules at quicktrip.com/sweepstakes.
Siding Unlimited is Wisconsin's leader in Pella window installation. In fact, we are Wisconsin's only Pella Platinum Premier Certified Contractor, and we've won Pella's prestigious National Contractor of the Year award 5 times. It's easy to get started. The process starts with homeowners meeting us at Siding Unlimited's amazing showroom,
on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
Ever thought about hitting a golf ball in Camp Randall Stadium? Well, now is your chance. On August 1st and 2nd, you can enjoy a VIP experience while hitting tee shots from the upper deck throughout the stadium down to custom greens on the field below. Start and end your round with great music, cold beers, food, and numerous golf challenges. Event is open to all ages, but hurry because tee times will go fast. Go to upperdeckgolf.com to book a tee time today. That's upperdeckgolf.com.
You gotta get down on Friday. It's time to finish the week off right. It's Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Hallman Lindsay.
Born and raised under the rain and a western wind, felt the weight. Try to live up to the say I am. Is it any wonder? Shame comes calling my first name.
Time for Feel Good Friday to wrap up the show and wrap up the week. Presented and painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. So this month, something really cool has been going on at the UWJ school, and is something that is obviously very near and dear to my heart, and that is my mentor, Tom Mulhern, who passed away in 2014. He's one of our daughter's godfathers. He was the guy who probably taught me the most about doing this job, and we have a scholarship that we endowed at the University of Wisconsin-Madison Journalism School that we try to raise funds for, and his family has done a really cool thing with their connections to a coffee company in Madison. They have come up with Mully's Roast at Lenny's Lab, which is a phenomenal thing that they're doing. It's commemorating the 10th anniversary of us endowing this scholarship. And, you know, there are very few things that in my time in my life that I've been lucky enough to have such great people who I get to look up to, and I try to pay that forward as best I can, even with you, Strofe. But Mully's somebody who's always on my mind because of how much he meant to my career and to the person I am. And so I just want to congratulate all of his family, his sons who are amazing, their wives, Mully's brothers and sisters and brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws who have been involved in this. They all banded together. It's at Lenny's Lab Coffee Company in Sun Prairie. We call it Mully's Roast. It's a special coffee blend, and for every bag that they sell, the Tom Mulhern Sports Journalism Scholarship at UW-Madison gets 10% of the proceeds. So if you have an opportunity and you like coffee, it would be great if you could purchase a bag and support the scholarship and support this great cause. So that is my Feel Good Friday for today.
It's amazing, Jason. One more time, remind people where they can find Mully's Roast. Where is it in Sun Prairie?
So it is called Lenny's Lab Coffee Company. You go to the website, lennyslabcoffee.com. If you want to order it, again, 10% of all the proceeds go to the Tom Mulhern Sports Journalism Scholarship at the UWJ School. So thanks for the opportunity to talk about that today. And you guys, thanks for stepping in, man. It's going to be a fun week next week as well while Tausch is on his summer sabbatical. But what a great Friday with you two as part of the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Jason. It was a lot of fun. Some nonsense, some Packers, all the in-betweens. Charles Edward Cheddar arrested in Tallahassee. Just a brutal break for that guy in credit card fraud, and quite a traumatizing experience at Chuck E. Cheese for those children that watch Chuck E. Cheese get walked out in handcuffs. Unbelievable.
Dontavion Wicks with a deep touchdown reception from Jordan Love to end our show, but not practice.
Go Pack!
That's it for us today. We'll do it again on Monday. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to